All right, welcome in, everyone. We are live. Thursday night, we have Thursday night football, Bills at Texans. Getting all the socials notified. Just getting ready for kickoff here in Houston. Houston is wearing their chrome red alternate. I think they refer to it as battle red. They used to anyway. I'm not sure if they do anymore. But I feel like with the non-glossy red jerseys with the chrome helmet, it just doesn't work right. It's an interesting idea. I just don't think it quite works right. And Bills just wearing their classic white uniform with white pants. But in the final week of the season against the Jets, they will be wearing their old red helmet. So that'll be really cool. All right, the Bills kick it off to the Texans. And it's gonna be returned to about the 22-yard line. That's number 14. And as I've mentioned in streams past, we gotta move the possession football. Dun dun. As I've mentioned in streams past, I don't see some of these teams a lot of the times. So that Quintez Cephas, he was on the Lions. I think the Lions drafted him a while back, but he never really broke into the lineup. But yeah, here he is returning kicks for the Texans. So the Texans will start with the ball. C.J. Stroud out for a third game with his concussion. So we've got General Mills at the helm. Davis Mills. Which, yeah, this is his third start. He's actually 2-0, and this is a short screen pass to, I believe that's Cade Stover? Number 87. Yep, Cade Stover, and he just dropped it. So we've got a 2nd and 10 upcoming from their own 22-yard line. Yeah, it's just the chrome red is such a bold red. I think the jersey has to be bolder than this. It's just muted. Plus, when you're doing non-white numbers, you got to do it right. And I just feel like these navy blue numbers with white outlines just don't look quite right. All right, here's a handoff to Woody Marks. And he's going to get about I want to say more like 6. I do have a friend who's a Texans fan, so I know a little bit more about the Texans. Yeah, the rumors are swirling around that Joe Mixon is out for the year, so rookie Woody Marks and Nick Chubb are going to be leading the backfield today. Yeah, Nick Chubb, not quite as fast as he used to be, but still doing fairly decently for being fairly old by running back standards. All right, let's see how many the Bills bring. They bring 4, and the rush is getting there. Mills overthrows number 81. I believe that's Higgins. Yeah, Jaden Higgins. No flag for holding there. So the Bills are going to get it after a Bills 3 and out. And that was Joey Bosa right off the edge. Got a lot of pressure in Davis Mills' face. He just had to get rid of that probably a little bit before Higgins was expecting it. And so the Houston punt team is on the field and kicks it away. And that's fielded by number 10. We do have a flag on. No, it's Khalil Shakir returning punts. I didn't know he did that. For those of you just tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football, Bills at Texans. If you like what you're listening to, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you click that notification bell so you get notified of all of our great content. We post weekly picks on Tuesdays. We post power rankings on Wednesdays. And we do live reactions to Thursday Night Football on Thursdays. We've got Josh Allen getting the offense set up. Only a minute and 5 seconds came off the clock there. We're at 13:55. All right, Josh Allen under center. He's got James Cook in the backfield. Single back formation. I believe that's Josh Palmer in motion. Here comes James Cook. He's having a really good season. Gets about 3 to 4 yards on the first rush. Oh, possession football did not move. It needs to move. Dun dun. But yeah, the Texans trying to claw their way back into contention. Had a rough start to the season. And their record was there. I'll have to look it up on a separate tab. Oh, they're 5-5. So right at the... And here's Josh Allen on 2nd and 6 throws. Oh, it's in and out of the hands of Dawson Knox. And Knox definitely looking like he's going to get more looks with Dalton Kincaid out. So we'll have a 3rd down upcoming. The Bills, they get in these funks where they don't operate well. Oh, okay, so on the replay, you can kind of see it. Dawson Knox is close to the sideline. He's trying really hard to make sure his foot doesn't go out of bounds. I think he kind of lost track of where the ball was because he was focusing on his feet there. So we've got a 3rd and 6 for Buffalo. 13-13 left to play in the first quarter. Texans showing 4-man rush. They bring 4, throws complete. It looks like it's a yard short for Khalil Shakir. There is a flag. Texans indicating it's against the Bills. Looks like the ref's indicating it's an ineligible man downfield. Which from my understanding means that before the ball is in the air, the offensive lineman isn't allowed to be 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. Okay, so maybe I've missed that. It's 4th down regardless. Let's see where they spot the ball. Okay, so yeah, the lineman definitely goes past. Looks like they declined the penalty, though? Or maybe they picked it up? I kind of missed that. But regardless, it's 4th and 1. And they're deep in their own territory here. I don't know if the Bills should really go for this. Maybe they're just going to try to draw the Texans offside. They also have Josh Allen, one of the biggest quarterbacks in the league, so maybe they'll be able to just have him scramble forward, but this is a very risky call early if they do snap this. They do, and Josh Allen, okay, jumps over the top and gets 3 yards. That was a little crazy. He just leaps and, like, just by extending his body, he gets 3 yards. As we wind under 12.5 to play, the Bills' drive will continue, but that's a gutsy call by the former Panthers defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott. It's why you've seen in the past that a lot of former Panthers players end up on the Bills. Shaq Thompson, Kawan Short, Kelvin Benjamin, because of that connection that Sean McDermott had with the Carolina Panthers. So this is 1st and 10. It's a handoff to James Cook. 1 yard gain. Not going to get much there. It's a good interior push by the Texans. I believe it was number 76 who made the stop. Nope, they don't have a number 76 on their team, so must not have been 76. So it's 78. Nope, not 78. I don't know what I'm talking about, apparently. All right, 2nd and 10. Josh Allen out of the pistol. He's got James Cook behind him. Back to throw. Throws the screen to James Cook, or should I say more of a, I guess it's a wheel, not a wheel pass. But he threw it, a flat. He threw it on the flat to James Cook. Only gets about 1. So we've got 2 officially. So we've got a 3rd and 8 coming up as we wind under 11 minutes to play. Third and 8. Josh Allen back. They need this win to stay pace with the New England Patriots, the upstart Patriots. And there's a swing pass to Ty Johnson. And he's going to get that first down. That goes for probably 12 yards. So well blocked. Ty Johnson able to get to the outside, and the Bills keep the drive alive. Yeah, Ty Johnson, I feel like, is a little sneaky. I've had to spot start him in some fantasy leagues, but especially in the passing game, he can rack up some yardage. Feel like maybe the Texans over-pursued a little bit there, and Ty Johnson was able to utilize his blocking and get the first down. All right, Josh Allen under center. He's got Cook behind him. Fakes the handoff. Throws. It's complete to Dawson Knox this time. This time he's able to catch it. Looks like he's probably about a yard shy of the first down, so this will be 2nd and short as we're under 10 to play in the first quarter. 0-0, Bills at Texans. Yeah, I feel like I run this play in Madden. It's a play action, and you've got the tight end dragging across the other side of the fake. Yeah, he gets ahead. All right, we got 2nd and inches, so it's less than a yard. The Bills at the 44-yard line of the Texans. It's a fake handoff to James Cook. Going heavy play action right now, and Josh Allen doesn't quite get it to James Palmer there. So that's going, sorry, not James Palmer, Josh Palmer. And let me just make sure I have that right, but I'm pretty sure that's Josh Palmer. Yep, Josh Palmer. 3rd and inches, 9:19 to play in the first quarter. 0-0, Bills at Texans. Bills and Texans, not at 0. All right, we've got Josh Allen under center. Is he just going to take it again? They don't even need a full yard. Texans stacking the line. It's a fake handoff to the fullback. Gives it to James Cook. Oh, and Cook breaks it. Cook is going to the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Bills. So the first line of defense was crowded up on the line. James Cook breaks through it, and the Bills get 6. 6-0, Bills over Texans. So line these numbers a little bit better here. Yeah, it was interesting because it was a short yardage situation, and Josh Allen actually fakes it to their fullback, number 41, Reggie Gillum, and then gives it to James Cook, and that might have been just enough hesitation by the front line of the Texans to break the hole, and then he just sprinted through it. So here's the extra point. Oh, he missed it. It's a wobbly kick. No good. So this is going to be 6-0 Bills over Texans, not 7-0. So we get a long 44-yard touchdown run by James Cook for the first points of the game. The last game I streamed was Eagles-Packers, and there were a combined 2 touchdowns that entire game. And we've already got 1 in this one, so a little bit more exciting. It's 6-0 Bills over the Texans. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. But yeah, this season, crazy. Things are just not what you'd expect. Oh, actually, I forgot to put up my chat window here. Whoops. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Oops. Zach is here. Or was here. But no, I agree. I wouldn't have gone for that fourth down way back at like their own 30-yard line. That was crazy. Yeah, but we saw how that backfired last week against with the Eagles against the Lions. Lions could not get anything going on offense. Eagles were trying to ice the game with one of their famous tush pushes, but they did it at their own 29-yard line, which basically put the Lions in field goal range. They were up 16-6. Jalen Hurts doesn't get it. The Lions get a field goal, and if it wasn't for a bad pass interference call on Philadelphia, or on the Lions on the ensuing drive, the Lions would have had a chance to tie that game at the end. So I know it's a high percentage play, but you still got to take into account where you're at on the field. But yeah, definitely agree. Buffalo was playing with fire there. All right, we got 9:11 to go. It's 6-0 Bills over the Texans. Texans had a 3-and-out on their first possession. The Bills would have had a 3-and-out on their first possession if they had punted, but yeah, that was a rough kick there. Yeah, it's just really like that deep in your end zone. It's a really risky move that it paid off for the Bills. They got a touchdown out of it, but still, I know if I was doing it, I wouldn't do that. All right, we got the return by the Texans. Oh, wow, they get it all the way to the 42-yard line. I mean, depends on how many he ends up missing. I mean, Matt Prater is was a fairly good kicker. Got to move the possession football though. Dun dun. Texans have it now. All right, we got Davis Mills out of the single back. That was because Nick Chubb was behind him. He was under center. Nick Chubb goes for about 6. The former Cleveland Browns. Sorry. Oof. Got something stuck in my throat there. But yeah, for those of you just tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel. We have lots of great content throughout the week. So if you like what you're listening to, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified for all our videos. All right, we got Mills under center, 2nd and 3 from their own 47. It's another hand up to Chubb, and he's going to get the first down to about the Bills' 47-yard line. Yeah, it's fun. Like, Davis Mills is definitely a backup quarterback, but it's fun just to call him General Mills. General Mills! Well, he's undefeated right now. They came back and defeated the Jaguars in that ridiculous comeback game, and then they were able to hold off against the Titans, so yeah. All right, we've got a rollout by Mills, and oh, it's complete. That's going to be close to a first down. Depends on the spot. Jaden Higgins with the catch. Looks like he's going to be inches short. So a nice pass by Mills there. Yeah, the Bills' defense has definitely struggled a bit this year. It has not been the dominant unit it has been in years past. I want to look at their numbers. I feel like their numbers are probably pretty mid. see where the Bills stack up. We've got, okay, so they gave him the first down. So passing defense, they're second in the league. Mills back to throw, throws. Oh, he's got a target, but overthrew him. Oh, yeah, Dalton Schultz down the field, but overthrew him. Almost got it to the Bills guys, so that is not a great pass by Mills there. But yeah, the Bills defense is second in passing. Oh, 31st against the rush, so that might explain why they were having trouble with Nick Chubb earlier in this drive. And 14th overall, so that was about what I was feeling. I think it's a really hard path for the Texans to get into the playoffs. They're not winning the division with the Colts and Jags in there. So that's Mills under center. He's going to hand it off to Woody Marks, who has some room to work with. Gets about 12 on that run as we wind under 6.5 to play in the first quarter. Yeah, just a pretty open hole there. And Woody Marks able to get some much needed yardage. Yeah, because the Texans, after that sad first possession, they need to respond here, and they're doing a really good job of it right here. Started with a good kickoff return, got the ground game going, getting Davis Mills working on some play action. It's a toss to the right to Woody Mills on first down, and he's got more room. Gonna get about 20 on that run. So the Bills' 31st rush defense getting gashed here on this drive. And it's a 1st and goal for Houston. Yeah, we've got some action this week, Bill, unlike the Packers and Eagles game last week. Things are actually happening. All right, Zach is saying Houston's going to get this into the end zone, but they need to make their extra point. We've seen that being a problem this year. And that's no gain on the ground. I think that, nope, that was Woody Marks again. So no gain, taken down by Rousseau. Thanks for everyone who's tuning into my stream. Thanks for spending part of your evening with me. These are my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. Bills at Texans. Bills lead with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the first, 6-0 over the Texans. But the Texans have 2nd and goal at the Bills' 6-yard line. Mills out of the shotgun, throws. Oh, he tried to get Noel in the flat. I don't know who that is. Let's see. That is Jalen Noel. He is a rookie out of Iowa State. But yeah, tried to hit him on the flat, incomplete. Yeah, that Monday night game was tedious. Some scoring did happen, like, after I logged off. It was literally 3-0 Eagles after I logged off, like, midway through the 4th quarter. I was off one day with my video editing, so I had to finish my video editing that night. Mills out of the shotgun, throws. Oh, dangerous throw. Incomplete. And so we've got a 4th and goal upcoming, and with the missed extra point, I could see the Texans, it makes sense to kick the field goal here because you're only down a field goal. Yeah, it looks like he was trying to get it to Christian Kirk here, maybe. Yeah. Oh, okay, it went through Kirk's hands. I feel like that's one you got to catch. Christian Kirk was pretty good on Arizona, had some flashes on Jacksonville, but has not really panned out or done much on Houston as of yet. He is coming off 2 very injury-plagued seasons, so the 24-yard field goal attempt goes through the upright. It is 6-3. Bills over the Texans. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustin Trent channel on YouTube Live. 4 minutes and 32 seconds left in the first quarter here on Thursday Night Football. But yeah, the Texans defense, on the other hand, is very good. It is the first scoring defense in the league, only allowing 16.3 points per game. Let's see how they rank elsewhere. 28th against, but that's not, hang on. Oh, that's red zone defense. Hang on, we don't care about that. All right, so total defense, the yardage allowed, they're allowing like 258 yards per game, so that's Texans #1 there. Texans are #3 in passing defense, only 171 yards per game. Do I think the Bills could win the East? That's the tough question because, this has been biting me because I keep saying that the Chiefs are going to win the AFC West, but the Broncos beating them last week really put a damper on that. And the thing that's in the Patriots' favor, soft schedule, and they already have a win against the Bills in Buffalo. That's the thing I think that gets overlooked a little bit with that. The Patriots won in Buffalo, so the next time they play the Bills, it's going to be at their stadium. So I think the Patriots hold on, and the Bills are playing in the wild card. Right, we've got, Texans are 3rd in passing and rushing defense. So this is a defense not to be messed with here. Let's look at the Bills. I just make sure I got all this right, because I think I might have looked at the wrong category when I mentioned one before. These are percentages, total defense. Okay, cool. So total defense, the Bills are 12th. Passing defense 2nd, 31st rushing defense. So I am correct about that. Let's pull up the offensive numbers as well. Fox Sports NFL Offensive Rankings 2025. Because, if you saw my video, the short I put out about the mid-season playoff predictions, I had the Broncos as the 5th wild card and the Chiefs as the division winner, and especially with the loss now, I think it's going to be really hard for the Chiefs to win that division. Because the Broncos are 9-2. That means the Chiefs are 4.5 games out of first place. That's just probably not going to happen at this point. All right, we got the kickoff for the Texans. I agree with you in concept, Bill. I think that they have the potential to be good. My problem with the Texans alternates here is the chrome red is too glossy in comparison to the muted red on their jersey. If these were like the nice shiny Reebok jerseys in the past, I think it would look a lot better. But the Nike jerseys, they just don't allow for that, which I find really unfortunate because I really liked how the old Reebok jerseys used to look. But yeah, I think it's a good concept, but it could use improvement. But the possession football does need to move, going over to the Bills. Dun dun. All right, so we've got 1st and 10 with 4:27 left to play. We've got 9 live viewers. Thanks, everyone, for choosing to spend some of your evening with me. All right, we've got a handoff to James Cook, and that's a good run, getting forward to about the 18-yard line. So I think we got about a 2nd and 2 coming up here. As we wind under 4 to play in the first quarter. 6-3 Bills over the Texans. Oh, sorry, 2nd and 4. We've got Josh Allen out of the shotgun. Ty Johnson behind him. He throws a screen pass. I believe that's Shakir. He's going to lose 2 on the play here. Oh, but actually, I got to pull something up here because the Panthers are wearing an all-new uniform combination against the 49ers this week. They just announced it today. I would have preferred they go with black pants, but they're pairing their black helmet with their away white uniforms, which I think the look is pretty good. Just posted the link in the chat, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. All right, we've got 3rd and 6, under 3.5 to play in the first quarter. Big third down for the Bills here, trying to respond after that field goal drive from the Houston Texans. And the Bills take a timeout. Not quite sure what's going on here. All right, we've got 3rd and 6 upcoming. Oh yeah, I heard the news about Keon Coleman getting sat for his 2nd straight game. I think I had heard the first time was that he missed a team meeting. I'm not sure why they sat him this time, but it's kind of seeming like they're dealing with some behavioral issues with him. Oh no, Bill. All right, we've got Allen stepping up, and he gets sacked. Oh, Josh Allen looks injured. I'll have to see the extent of this. But yeah, when he hit the ground, he looked like he was in pain. And yeah, if that's a serious injury, it doesn't look like a leg injury. But if that's a serious injury, that could be the Bills' season, because this team runs through Josh Allen. I don't see anything crazy there. Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure about that. He's up and walking, so yeah, I don't think that's going to keep him out that long, if I were to guess. Unless he's being evaluated for concussion. We'll see if he goes into the blue tent. But yeah, it is a sack. Yeah, so I would have preferred them to do the black pants with it, but instead they went with white pants, black socks. So I guess that matches the helmet and creates contrast enough. I would have done it a little bit differently, but I think it's so. They've been incorporating their blue a lot more, and they've been incorporating their black helmet. My prediction is that when the Panthers roll out their new renovated stadium, they're probably going to use that time to do a uniform update. That's kind of what I'm predicting right now. So I think that that's slated to be done in like 2029 or something like that. But it is 6-3, Bills over the Texans with a little under 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Let me get the exact time here. Oh, hang on. I'm also going to see if I can refresh this to see if I happen to be behind. Jameis Winston what starts this week? I don't know, Bill. What starts this week? I know Jameis Winston is starting for the Giants again. All right, let's try this. See if refreshing that got me a little bit more ahead, or maybe it got me less ahead. 2:40 left in the first quarter. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. Thanks for tuning in and spending some of your evening with me. If you like what you're seeing, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to get notified of all of our great videos. We post great content throughout the week. On Tuesdays, we post our weekly picks. On Wednesdays, we post power rankings. And on Thursdays, we stream my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. Oh, yes, I am aware of the Toyota-thon thing, Bill. That Jordan Love, is he still like undefeated during Toyota-thon? The Packers need it right now. They're definitely faltering, but hey, it's a perfect time for it to happen. Because you want to be hot down the stretch going into the playoffs. So hopefully that works out for the Packers. Yeah, it's Toyota-thon, and if the Packers happen to get 27 points in a game this year. Oh, I saw a friend of mine texted me a stat right before this game that apparently the Panthers, it's the coin toss that's determining games for us. We've won every game that we've won the opening coin toss, and we've lost every game we've lost the opening coin toss. So yeah, won it 6 times, lost it 5 times. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Yeah, 10-1. All right, so the Texans have it at their own 34-yard line. Here's a handoff. I believe that's Nick Chubb. Gets about 2. And possession football needs to move. Dun dun. Yeah, it seems like Woody Marks was doing a little bit better. You might want to give him more carries. As Nick Chubb runs to the sideline, so that might be what they're planning on. That was a 4-yard run. We've got 2nd and 6 coming up for the Texans with 2:10 left to play in the first quarter. Davis Mills, empty backfield, has 4 wide receivers and a tight end. Back to throw. It's a 4-man rush by the Bills. Throws. Oh, he had a man wide open but couldn't get him. Jaden Higgins. Looks like he also got a little messed up on his route there. He definitely stumbled, but he is uncovered here. The safety would have had to make the tackle. And, the corner fell down. That's what happened. And, yeah, it just looks like Davis Mills put the ball somewhere where Higgins wasn't. Mills was seeming to expect him to be somewhere else. All right, we've got 3rd and 6. Mills out of the shotgun. Bill's bringing extra man. Oh, throw's complete, and this drive is going to continue. He's able to get Higgins. Well, are we waiting an official ruling from the officials to see if he kept his feet in? Higgins looking like he didn't get it. Well, let's see. There's one. Oh, yeah, way out. So that is an incomplete pass, and the Texans are going to have to punt. Yeah, not even close. He's like a half a foot out. Wasn't able to see that live due to the camera angle. But the replay, it definitely showed. Those stats are nuts. Is that... So, does Toyota-thon go through the playoffs? Are some of those losses including the playoffs? All right, we've got 4th and 6, 1:52 left in the first. Here's the punt. And it's going to be... Oh, nope. It's going to bounce. Oh, it bounced out. The Texans able to stop it at the 4-yard line. Looked like it was going into the end zone, but got a favorable bounce for the Texans. And the Bills are going to start this next drive within their 5-yard line. A great punt by Townsend, I believe. Yep, Tommy Townsend. Nice punt. We've got... Oh, I got to change the possession football here. Dun dun. We've got 6-3 Bills over the Texans. Okay, so it's like the remainder of the season does not include the playoffs. Okay. Would have included the playoffs without week 18, but ever since there's an 18th week in the league, the regular season does go into the first week of January. Actually, yeah, let's see when the NFL playoffs officially start. Playoffs start 2025. They start January 10th, 2026. All right, we've got first down. It's a handoff to James Cook. Gets about 2. Josh Allen is in, so it's not a bad injury for Josh Allen. Yeah, no, that was a little scary looking when he first got sacked there. Nothing weird looked to like get pinned or anything, but Josh Allen looked in pain after it. So something to keep our eyes on throughout the game to see if he's looking like he's playing 100%. Allen out of the shotgun. He's got James Cook to his left. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He's back to throw. Throws. He's got his man. That's Gabe Davis, I believe. Gabe Davis went over to Jacksonville for a little bit and has come back to Buffalo. Was not good on Jacksonville at all, but coming back home to where he made a name for himself on Buffalo. And Gabe Davis just does a good comeback route. Totally leaves Lassier in his dust. Yeah, it almost seems like Lassier over-pursued there. There are too many 4s here, so I can't look up his first name. All right, we've got 1st and 10 for the Bills from their own 28-yard line. It's a handoff to Cook. He's going to get it to about the 34. So that's a pickup of 6. For those of you just tuning in, this is the end of the first quarter. We're going to update our graphic to be the second quarter. It is 6-3, Bills over the Texans. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Yeah, last week I tried a simulcast with TikTok, and the only thing that happened over on TikTok is a bunch of people. It showed me people joining and leaving and joining and leaving, but no one ever commented. And so it was just distracting on the other screen. And so I made this one YouTube only, trying to keep myself a little bit more concentrated on what's going on, rather than, I feel like all of TikTok is just flashy and distracting. All right, well, we've already got more views than we did all of last week for Eagles-Packers, so that's good. 5 live viewers currently. Thanks for spending some of your evening with me. This is the Dustytron channel. We post great content all the time. So if you like what you're listening to, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to be notified of all our great videos. All right, but I'm going to show it on the stream here. Let me see if I can get quick screen. Actually, I'll just do a screenshot. Let me see. Image. Doop. But yeah, this was what I linked earlier. This is the new uniform combination the Carolina Panthers are going to wear on Monday Night Football. They have never worn their black helmets with their white jerseys before, so the last 2 to 3 years, the Carolina Panthers have been experimenting a lot with their jersey combinations, kind of trying to, I think they're trying to feel out what fans like. And I ultimately think that that's in support of doing a uniform rebranding, and I predict that to be when they open up their new stadium. I also predict that the Jaguars are going to do the same. I think they're going to do like a hybrid version of their Prowler uniforms, the throwbacks that they do, currently when they open their brand new stadium. All right, here's Josh Allen. It's a 2nd and 4. Started the second quarter. Throws it to his tight end. They get the first down, number 85. I'm going to get this out of the way now. All right, there we go. 1st and 10. That was number 85. Who is that? That is Jackson Hawes. I feel like he did something the other game. All right, we got Josh Allen under center. Hands it off to James Cook. Oh, he's able to cut inside and then go outside. Cuts it to the right edge and is able to get about 13 yards on the run. So the Bills making their way downfield. Yeah, I saw the passing numbers for Davis Mills. They are not good right now. The one scoring drive they had, they were able to get their running game going. But yeah, Davis Mills is 1 of 8 for 10 yards. They need more out of him if they're going to win this one. Now, to be fair, he did complete it to Jaden Higgins last drive, but Higgins couldn't keep his foot in bounds. And this is a pass on the flat to number 18. That is that no, it's not Elijah Moore. Oh, is it Rondale Moore? There's a lot of Moore wide receivers in the league. It might even be David Moore. Let's see. It was number 18. Elijah Moore. Okay, yep. The former Jet, No, he started, oh shoot, did he start with I believe he started with the Jets, went over to the Browns, and now he's on the Bills. NFC North, it's not the Bears. I doubt the Bears are going to win that division. I think I still put my money on the Lions. The Bears are just winning so many one-score games, it's just not sustainable. Josh Allen in the shotgun, 2nd and 13 here from the 48-yard line of the Texans. Throws over the middle, gets Josh Palmer, so this is going to be a much more manageable 3rd down, 3rd and 2 upcoming for the Bills as we wind under 13 minutes to play in the second quarter. It is 6-3, Bills over the Houston Texans. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football here on YouTube Live. Third and 3 is the official ruling here. Bill, who do you have winning the NFC North? I mean, I know who you want to win the NFC North, but do you think the Packers can pull it off? All right, we've got Josh Allen under center. Fakes the handoff, throws, it's complete to Shakir, and he is not going to get to the edge. So he doesn't even get a yard on that play. He was trying to run to the right sideline and get the edge, but the Texans defense, one of the best in the league, 3rd best passing defense in the league. And yeah, this I would say is 4-down territory here. You're kind of in no man's land. It's 4th and 2, so they're giving Shakir 1 yard on that play. Okay, yeah, Bills, you say the Lions are going to win. Yeah, that's who I have too. The Bears aren't going to hold on, and I think the Packers just aren't quite there. Oh, that might have been a false start, but it looks like they don't call it. Josh Allen throws, completes it to Ty Johnson, down to the 15. Did anyone touch him? Well, he rolled out of bounds, so it's going to be a new set of down for the Bills. So they do not do a short play. They attack long and get about 30 yards on the play. And this is what I was talking about. Ty Johnson, he's sneaky good in the passing game. That was lazy by the Texans guy there. He does not touch him. All right, so it's a 1st and 10 at the Texans' 14-yard line. Hands it off to Ty Johnson. That doesn't work so well. He loses about 2 yards. That's Settle Jr. Tim Settle Jr. with the stop. So the Bills, are they going to get held to 3 points here? Or are they going to be able to punch this in for another touchdown? 2nd and 12. 6-3, Bills over the Texans as we wind down to 10.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Josh Allen out of the shotgun has James Cook to his left. Josh Palmer moving in motion. Allen getting pressured, and he's going to go down. Will Anderson Jr. gets him for the second time tonight. The pocket collapsed. Josh Allen had nowhere to go with it, and the Texans pass rush gets there. So now, Bills moving backwards. Are the Texans going to be able to make a red zone stand here? We wind under 10 minutes to play. It's a 3rd and 22 here. And I might be really behind if they've kicked a field goal and missed it. All right. Josh Allen out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. Oh, almost sacked by Rankins. And Al-Shahir, it forces the incompletion. So 4th and 22, and yeah, the Bills spoil a perfect opportunity for points there. They're going to have to settle for a field goal. We'll see if Matt Prater can make it. He missed an extra point earlier, and this is going to be longer than that. Yeah, the extra point is from the 18-yard line. He'll be kicking from the 25-yard line here. Matt Prater, will see if he can get this. But if he misses, this is a completely wasted opportunity by Buffalo. 44-yard field goal attempt for Prater. Centered right in the center of the hashes. Kick is up, and that's good. All right, so the Bills have 9 on the night. They lead by 6 again, 9-3 over the Texans. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. But yeah, let's look over here for a second. Well, actually, let me start to get halftime set up a little bit. We're going to look at NFL Week 11 schedule. Give my rundown of the previous week's games, including that overtime thriller, Carolina beating Atlanta, with Bryce Young throwing for the most yards in franchise history, more than Cam Newton ever threw for, more than Jake Delhomme ever threw for. For some reason, Bryce Young turns into Superman playing against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. I don't get it, but the last 2 games, he's been amazing. Yeah, because they last year was the last game of the season, and they won a shootout overtime game against the Falcons in the final week in Atlanta. This year, the Atlanta game comes down to a field goal in overtime, and Bryce Young throws for... I wonder how many yards he threw in that game. I think it was 300 something. Let me see. Panthers, Falcons, Week 18, 2024. Stats. No, not that one. Okay. Do-do-do-do. Okay, so he had 5 total touchdowns in the game. But how many yards did he throw? Oh, it was only 251 yards. Okay. Yeah, only 251 yards, but it was 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. So, yeah, he had 5 total touchdowns on the day, but not nearly as many yards as he threw against Atlanta last week. All right, Bills set to kick off. They have reestablished their 6-point lead. And there's the kick. It's going to be fielded at the 5-yard line. That's Noel, I think, and he's going to be down at the 23. Well, to be fair, Bill, I thought it was more. So, all right, and here's the football moving. Dun dun. All right, so the Texans, they had a really sloppy drive last drive. Let's see if they can actually connect, because the plays were there, they just didn't connect on them, especially the one where Jaden Higgins was wide open, and yeah, there was some miscommunication between him and Davis Mills. All right, Mills is going to start under center. It's from their own 23-yard line. Woody Marks is behind him. Has 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. And it's a fake handoff to Marks. Throws, and there's a completion to Nico Collins. The first time we're calling his name tonight. Gets it to about the 47-yard line. So that's a big gain there. I want to say that's about what? That would be like 24-yard gain? Nico Collins gets some separation there. Turns back to Mills. Gives him a target. All right, see you in 5, Bill. All right, from the 47-yard line, Mills under center. He looked like he was going to hand it off to Marks, but something weird happened there. Oh, there's a flag. Mills indicating it's a face mask. Might have also gotten poked in the eye. 8:40 to play in the second quarter. Bills up 9-3 over Houston. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a face mask there. So this is going to be 15 on to the end of the run. And he got his head hit. Yeah, Bills player comes in. I think he's trying to punch the ball, but he just punches his helmet instead. So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty on the Bills. $8:40 left in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Texans. This has them on the Bills' side of the field. We'll have to see exactly where. Yeah, they're at the Bills' 33-yard line after that penalty. Mills under center. It's a fake handoff and then a reverse pitch to Noel. And he's going to get 3. Gets stood up by Bishop. Slammed to the ground. So we're approaching the midway point of the second quarter. What can we look forward to on the Dustytron halftime? You can look forward to all of my excellent analysis of the previous NFL games from the last week. I'll go through my thoughts and reactions to those and get to hear all my wonderful insights. That was Cole Bishop with the tackle. All right, Mills under center. He's going to lob one for Higgins, and it hit the back of the Bills' corner. So not quite put in the right spot by Mills there. This is going to be 3rd and 5 upcoming. Jaden Higgins, yeah, he had a step on Hairston there. I think that's the rookie they drafted this year. Let me see. Yeah, Maxwell Hairston. Yep, rookie out of Kentucky. All right, Mills out of the shotgun. It's a pitch to Christian Kirk. Yeah, a little like flip pass to him. I think that's technically a pass because it went forward. He's going to be short. That's about a 4-yard gain? No, let's see where they spot it. Yeah, 4-yard gain. So this is going to be a 4th and 1. Do the Texans go for it here? As we wind under 7 to play, they definitely come out And they're in the shotgun. Why do teams do this? They're in the shotgun on 4th and short. I swear if they do a shotgun run here, they hand it off to Marks. And, oh, he should have gotten tackled back there. But he somehow drags it forward and actually gets a 4-yard gain. So this drive is going to continue for the Houston Texans. 1st and 10. But yeah, I can't stand it when teams do this. When they run out of the shotgun on 4th and short, he's got like number 7 Johnson on him, and he just can't make the tackle. He's able to like drag him forward for 4 extra yards. And so it's at about the Bills' 18-yard line. Texans really trying to get the score here. The Bills bring pressure. Throws. Oh, he had his man, but just can't get enough on it. Was trying to get Dalton Schultz in the end zone, but couldn't get enough on the throw because of the Bills' pressure. It falls incomplete. And another pass, which hits like the back of the Bills' corner. But yeah, they bring 6 guys here. He's just got to put that a little bit further out in front, and Poyer can't make that play. So yeah, I guess he's kind of worried about Bishop closing in on Schultz there. It's a rollout play action there. Oh, had Collins, but can't quite hold on to it. There is a flag. We'll have to see what the flag is. It is a rollout play, so it'd be interesting to see if this is offensive holding. Although the Bills are the ones conferring with the refs, so it might be defensive holding. Illegal contact on the Bills, so that's going to be a 5-yard penalty and a 1st down for the Texans. It's on Johnson, who missed the tackle on Woody Marks on 4th down. And we've got 6:02 left to play in the 2nd quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. All right, we've got Mills under center. He pitches it. Oh, it looks like number 19's trying to throw it. He was going to the right, but he backpedals down to the left side, and he's able to get probably a 1st down out of that. That was a bit of a broken play, but they made it work. Who is that? That's Xavier Hutchinson. 3rd year out of, this is his 4th year out of Iowa State. Is that right? Do they put? No, so this is probably 3rd year out of Iowa State. Sorry. All right, so that's not a 1st down, but it is a 9-yard gain. So it's 2nd and 1. Mills under center has Woody Marks in the backfield. The Bills' second line oddly playing off the line of scrimmage here. And that's Marks. He's not going to get it. No gain. So we've got a 3rd and 1 coming up for the Texans. And I really think you got to try to get the touchdown here. Unless, of course, you lose some yardage. But if you keep it short here, you're definitely underdogs in this game. Like, you got to make a statement against Buffalo. And especially to save your season. You're 5-5. Things haven't really been going your way this year. The division's probably out of reach with how well the Colts are doing. So you're kind of hoping for one of those wild card slots, which you are only 1 game out of. And the Jaguars, they're a huge question mark. I don't know what to believe. It's like they blew that game to the Texans did save their season by winning that game, because if they had lost both matchups to Jacksonville, that would be really hard for them to get that 7th spot, because Jacksonville would have the tiebreaker over them. But then Jacksonville, they rebound from that, because that could have been a season killer. They rebound from that and trounce the Chargers 35-6. So what is up with the Jaguars? I cannot tell what team they are. But they're a team that seems like they're capable of beating anyone and losing to anyone. right, we've got 3rd and 1 now. Under 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Mills under center, hands it off to Marks again. He's able to pass by the guy who gets into the backfield. Gets for about 3 yards, and that is a first down. This drive will continue for Houston. 1st and goal upcoming. We've got it at about the 2-yard line. We're under 4.5 to play. Mills out of the shotgun. Hands it off to Chubb. Chubb trying to go for it but can't. Gets wrapped up. No gain. 2nd and goal upcoming as we wind under 4 to play in the second quarter. Yeah, the Bills, they play that one well disciplined there. Able to wrap them up in the backfield. They don't let go. And Nick Chubb not able to do anything there. Mills out of the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Chubb this time. Throws to the end zone. He's got his man. That's Christian Kirk. Touchdown, Texans. And now the Texans have a chance to take the lead with an extra point here. They're up 9. It's 9-9 right now. It's a play action to Chubb, and yeah, they lose track of Kirk. Kirk is wide open in the end zone here. Even Davis Mills can complete that for a touchdown. All right, so we'll see if they can hit through the extra point. I believe this is still Fairbairn. And it's up and good. Texans have the lead. 10-9 over Buffalo. I mean, I will say that the home team does have a huge advantage in Thursday Night Football short week games. But still, this is Buffalo. They're supposed to be one of the best teams in the AFC. They have to win this one. But yeah, I picked this as an upset. Because, well, 1, I picked it as an upset because I thought Stroud was going to play. But 2, after a big physical win over the Bucs last week with that shootout, I had a feeling this might be a little bit of a trap game for them. And right now, they are trailing by 1. 10-9, Texans over Bills. Here in the second quarter, you're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. If you like what you're listening to, give the channel a like and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to be notified of all of our great content. We post great content all throughout the week. We post my weekly picks on Tuesdays, weekly power rankings on Wednesdays, and on Thursday nights, we stream my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. You don't want to miss any of the action, so make sure you subscribe and click that bell. But yeah, I was meaning to write down some more of the voice impressions I could do. And I was coming up with some, but I didn't write them down. So I need to think about that a little bit. But I actually do a decent Saruman the White. Smoke rises from the mountain of doom. The hour grows late, and Gandalf the Grey rides to Isengard, seeking my counsel. Or at least I think I do decent. I feel like a lot of the voices I can do well are deeper voices. So actually, I think I can do the Batman animated series Batman pretty well. Alfred, we need to get the coordinates on the Joker now. Also, I can do the Chris Nolan Batman. Alfred. Which is kind of just ridiculous. Alfred. I'm not wearing hockey pads. All right. Let's see what happens on the kickoff here. Texans just executed a strong touchdown drive. Kaimi Fairbairn Gonna kick off. And here's the kick. And it's going to be fielded. It might be Ty Johnson. No, that's Ray Davis. All right, he's out at... want to say that's the 23? I'd have to check, but the possession football does move. Dun dun. All right, we've got Josh Allen under center. It's back to throw, throws. Oh, it got tipped and it's intercepted! It's intercepted by the Texans! And they return. Oh, he's still on his feet! Oh, that might be an illegal block in the back. We'll have to see if they flag this, but he runs it in for a touchdown. There is a flag, though, and I called it. I saw an illegal block in the back and around the 15-yard line, so this might push that back 15 yards, and the Texans will have it at the Bills' 30, but that's still huge. Yeah, I think it was a linebacker for the Texans got in front of that. Okay, so they're calling a personal foul. So the touchdown will not stand. Yeah, it's Al-Shaair who tips this. Yeah, it's the linebacker. Gets into the throwing lane, tips it, and then the safety's able to pick it off. I'm not quite sure what they called for the penalty, but I definitely saw a block in the back. Oh, possession football does need to move. Dun dun. So the Texans with a huge opportunity here. Okay, they're probably calling it a blindside block on Dawson Knox there against, well, yeah. Dawson Knox got knocked over. I think that's Bullock who got the interception there. Yep, Kalen Bullock. He's the safety. Yep, so I called it. They start at their own 30. It was a 15-yard penalty. Oh, and the Bills get right into the backfield, stop Woody Marks for about a 3-yard loss. So the Bills' defense can come up big here and hold them to a long field goal. That would be huge. But yeah, they just knifed through the line there. The Texans blocking did not get the job done. 2nd and 12. It's 10-9. Texans over the Bills. And it's Mills back to throw. Throws. Oh! Swing pass to Marks, and he's going to lose another 3. That's Milano with the stop. And now we've got a 3rd and 17. As we wind down to the 2-minute warning, the Texans are going to have to get the play off before the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 17. And yeah, you got to wonder if the Texans are just going to try to get a little bit more yardage. It's 4-man rush. Yeah, it's a dump off to Collins. Yeah, and he's going to get probably about 9 on that play, but it gets them a lot more manageable field goal. He got it all the way to the 25. And that is the 2-minute warning. The Texans stunning the Bills right now. They lead by 1, 10-9 with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. For those of you just tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel. We post great content all the time, so if you like what you're listening to, Give the video a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to be notified of all of our great content. We post great content all the time. We post my weekly picks on Tuesdays, my power rankings on Wednesdays, and my camera went fuzzy there for a second, but my power rankings on Wednesdays and on Thursdays. We stream my live reactions to Thursday night football. You don't want to miss any of it, so be sure to click that subscribe button. But yeah, the playoff picture, definitely nuts this year. I've heard, and it seems to apply. I was thinking it might not this year because of the 17-game schedule, and it revolves more around like how you have depth at the end of the season, which determines who's able to get into the playoffs and push towards the end goal at the end of the season. But we've got a shakeup here. You usually hear that there's about like a changeup of like 3 to 4 teams in the playoffs every year. And so, yeah, this year you've got the Patriots, the Colts, the Jaguars are in there. That's 3 for the AFC right now. And for the NFC, the Bears are in there, the Seahawks are in there, and the 49ers are in there. So that's 3 in the NFC. And then if you look at the teams that are on the bubble, okay, the Texans made it last year, the Lions made it last year, but yeah. So that Monday night football game, 49ers-Panthers, that's becoming a really important game for that wild card race. Now, I know when the Panthers play important games, they tend not to show up, especially when they're in primetime. So I would not be surprised if the 49ers absolutely demolish us in that game. But I guess we'll find out. I really hope that we can pull it out, because that would be a huge win and would actually put us into the playoff picture if we could win that. All right, so this is a 43-yard attempt for Fairbairn. This would be really bad by the Texans if they come out of this drive with nothing. Here's the kick. It's looking good down the middle. It is good. So the Texans able to add 3 onto their lead, and they have a 4-point lead over the Bills, 13-9. Texans over Bills. 1 minute and 56 seconds left in the second quarter. We'll see if the Bills can execute a successful 2-minute drill. But yeah, during halftime, we'll talk about the previous week's games and maybe talk about the playoffs a little bit. Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? (13-9) Texans. Yeah, Bills, they got to reclaim this one because this is a game they're supposed to win. And I don't know, the Bills, they've just been really inconsistent like that this year. They lose, they get blown out by Miami. They weren't competitive against Atlanta. They've got these really random stinker games. All right, this is fielded by Ray Davis. He's at the 30. He's at the 35. Oh my gosh, he might take this back all the way. He will take this back all the way. 20, 10, 5, touchdown Bills. Kickoff return touchdown. And that is a way to be deflating. Oh my goodness. The Texans work so hard to build a lead, and it all just disappears with a special teams blunder allowing Ray Davis to take the kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown. So instead of the Bills conducting a 2-minute drill, it's going to be the Texans. So this possession football does move over to the Bills as they kick the extra point. Dun dun. Prater has missed an extra point in this game already. Can he make this one? It's up and good. So it's back to a 3-point lead for Buffalo. 16-13. Yeah, so Ray Davis just gets separation there and able to take it to the house. That is a huge game-altering play for Buffalo because they were looking sluggish. However, that being said, their defense doesn't get any rest here. So officially, it's a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So the Bills get a big play that gets them back out in front, 16-13 over Houston. And there's the kick. It's going to be fielded at the 5. This is number 11. I'm not sure who that is. And he's down, and I want to say the 25? That's Tremon Smith. Oh, he's a corner. Okay. Yeah, but Ray Davis, he turned on the afterburners when he got that hole. All right, we've got Mills out of the shotgun, throws. It's complete underneath. That is Christian Kirk, who had the touchdown earlier. All right, 2nd and 3. 16-13. Bills over the Texans with a minute left to play in the second. Throws. Oh, he's got Nico Collins, and Nico Collins, almost broke it. Looks shaken up on the play, though. Yeah, so he might have if he didn't get injured. He was grabbing his abdominal muscle. Might have just gotten the wind knocked out of him there. But this is a big play that gets him to the, maybe not quite, yeah. It's the other side of the field at about the Bills' 48-yard line. Yeah, Nico Collins took a shot there. We'll see if he's okay. Oh, sorry, possession football needs to move. Dun-dun. 16-13 Bills over Texans. We've got 1 minute to play in the second quarter. For those of you tuning in, thanks for spending some of your evening with me. Glad to have you here. Gonna see if the Texans can perhaps tie the game before the half. They're at the Bills' 48-yard line. 51 seconds left in the second quarter. So Davis Mills, after an atrocious 1 of 8 start passing, he's now 8 of 17 for 73 yards and a touchdown. So not great, but doing better. Woody Marks, though, is averaging 5.5 yards a carry. He's got 8 attempts for 44 yards. Josh Allen, his passing numbers looking pretty good. 11 of 15, 88 yards, but has that interception. Al-Shaair got in the throwing lane, batted it up in the air, and it was intercepted by the safety. James Cook running at 10.7 a clip. 7 attempts for 75 yards and a touchdown. So he's having a pretty good game on the ground, although a big part of that was his 45-yard run. 45-yard touchdown run. All right, Nico Collins on the sideline. We'll see if he tries to come back in, but if he was taken out for an injury, then he does have to sit at least one play out. All right, we've got Davis Mills out of the shotgun. They're bringing pressure. It's throws underneath. It's complete to Dalton Schultz. Going to get about 7 or 8 on that play. They might be calling their first timeout, or it's the Bills calling an injury timeout. Number 47 looks like his arm is injured, but no, it is indeed a timeout by the Texans, so they only have 1 remaining. That's Christian Benford. Looked a little shaken up on the play. So yeah, the Texans, Chiefs, and Ravens are all 5-5. So this is a very important game for the Texans to stand out in the teams that are looking for that number 7 seed. I don't know. I really feel like I called it in my midseason predictions video. I really do feel like the Ravens are on a course to get either the AFC North or that 7th seed. All right, we've got the snap here. Mills throws. He's got it to Kirk over the middle, and Kirk is running 15-10 out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. So now this becomes a little bit more of, can we just get a field goal, and can we get it becomes the conversation starts to go, can we get a touchdown? Yeah, some nice maneuvering by Kirk in the zone there. Able to get a big chunk play. So Christian Kirk, I was just saying, hadn't really done much for the Texans yet, but he's having a pretty good game tonight. Mills out of the shotgun. He's going to lob it. Oh, it's complete, but I don't think the receiver got his feet in bounds. That's Jaden Higgins. Yeah, it looks like he did not get his feet down for the second time today. 9 seconds on the clock. 1 timeout for Houston. How aggressive are they going to go for the end zone? Looks like Nico Collins might be trying to get himself back in. Oh, Higgins again. Just can't get his feet down. He catches the ball but couldn't get his feet down. And we've got an injured lineman. That's Ursery. Number 79. 9 seconds left in the half. All right, we'll have to see. He's walking off on his own power to the sideline. But the Texans offense definitely not considered one of the better ones in the league. Definitely in like the bottom 5 of the league. They get an injury, so that can only make things worse. 2nd and goal with 9 seconds left in the second quarter. Nico Collins back in the lineup. All right, can the Texans get it in? 2nd and goal. Mills out of the shotgun. He's got Woody Davis to his right. 4 wide receivers. 4-man rush. Oh, he's got his man! Touchdown! Gets Jaden Higgins that time. But there is a flag. We'll have to see what the flag is. Mills indicating it's on the Bills. We'll have to see what the official ruling is. The ref's conferring. Was able to hit Jaden Higgins in the seam. Pass interference on the defense, so the touchdown will stand. That is huge for Houston going into halftime. An effective 2-minute drill led by General Mills. 19-16. They're going to try to tack on the extra point to make it 20-16. Make that a little bit more centered there. There we go. All right, Fairbairn. Can he get the extra point? It's hooking, but it got in. So that was close, but yeah, a 4-point lead, way more important than a 3-point lead because it forces the Bills to get a touchdown to take the lead or 2 field goals. 20-16, Texans over the Bills. Yeah, got Jaden Higgins in the seam there. And yeah, they're focusing a lot on some quick passes today. Yeah, the corner kind of fell over on that play. So the Bills, they got that kickoff return touchdown, but it was too much time. The Texans were able to respond, and they maintain a 4-point lead. So Fairbairn, you gotta wonder with only 5 seconds on the clock, he might purposely kick this out of bounds, or probably will kick a touchback. Yeah, he kicks it into the end zone. That makes sense. So this will come out to the 35-yard line, but there's only 5 seconds on the clock, so not a whole heck of a lot that the Bills can do with it. They do have 2 timeouts, so if they hit something quick, then they might be able to... Oh, possession football needs to move. Dun-dun. For those of you tuning in, thanks for spending some of your evening with me. This is the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. Oh, and it's a Neil. So that'll take us to halftime. 20-16. And I believe... Yeah, I believe the Bills start with it. Yes, the Bills start with it. All right. We're at halftime here in Houston. 20-16 Texans over the Bills. Was not expecting that. So the possession football will go over to Houston because they will kick off to start off the half. All right, but we're going to jump into the Dusty Tron halftime report. Taking a look at the previous week's games. So this Thursday night football matchup, it's 20-16 right now, Texans over the Bills. But looking back at last week's Thursday night football matchup, New England riding on the back of 3 total touchdowns by Trevion Henderson, finally getting him involved in the offense in the absence of Ramondre Stevenson playing. The Patriots able to easily take down the Jets wearing their rivalry, the Patriots wearing the rivalry uniforms. 27-14 Drake May with 281 passing yards. And then, yeah, Stephon Diggs had 105 receiving yards. Apparently Justin Fields was the rushing leader with 67. I felt like Trevion Henderson had a bigger game than that. I'm not quite sure about that, but maybe. We had a kind of boring game over in Madrid, but the Dolphins able to get the victory over the Commanders. The Commanders, what a disappointing season they have had. Because even with Jaden Daniels in the lineup, they weren't looking quite right. And now with Marcus Mariota, they're just not winning. And at 3-7 on the year, they're pretty much done for. The NFC, they've got the barrier for entry because they're not winning that division with the Eagles there. So the barrier for entry in the wild card is 7 wins right now. So they're 4 games behind. That's probably not going to happen. But yeah, Commanders fall again, 16-13 against the Dolphins in overtime. So the next game on our list, what a crazy game between the Panthers and the Falcons. This one got to the point where I'm like, okay, yeah, we're in Atlanta. We're letting them just run away with this game because the Falcons got up 21-7 in this game. But I will give the Panthers credit. This year, they have stuck around in games. They've been down 17 to Miami. They've been down 14 to Atlanta. The only 2 games where they've really been out of it and just gotten blown out were against the Bills and the Patriots. And you can argue those are 2 of the best teams in the AFC right now. But they were able to hold their own. They clawed back into this game. The Michael Penix injury might have helped them get back into it because the offense did not move with Captain Kirk in the lineup. He was able to lead them to 1 field goal drive, but that really wasn't his doing per se. They didn't even pick up a first down on that drive. It was after the Panthers failed the 4th down at about the 50, or I think it was like their own 48. And when they missed that, I thought the game was over, but the defense stood firm. They were able to hold the Falcons to just a field goal, and then they had a final drive down the field, got it into the end zone, a touchdown pass to Terrell to McMillan, got up 27-24, but then they gave up a big kickoff, and the Falcons didn't have to move the ball very much to get a shot at a game-tying field goal, which it was huge that they hit that 2-point conversion, because if they hadn't, that field goal would have won the game for Atlanta. But Carolina, they either keep games close or they get blown out. And when it comes down to the wire, they seem to be really finishing off these games. They were able to do it against Atlanta this last week. They did it against the Cowboys. They did it against the Packers. So on numerous occasions this year, they have had very good end game sequences to win. So Bryce Young set a franchise record with 448 passing yards in that game. It had been Cam Newton before that, and surprisingly, I think it was Cam Newton's game against the Green Bay Packers his rookie season where where he set that record, because he started his rookie year with 2 straight 400-yard passing games. Then he didn't have a single 400 passing yard game for the rest of his career. I find that stat kind of mind-boggling, because even in his MVP season, he didn't have a 400-yard passing game. And that MVP season, a lot of it was, like, he had 35 touchdown passes, but he also had 10 more on the ground. His completion percentage was 59%. So he was having trouble completing on a consistent basis. But he was just electric in other facets of the game, which led, and also the Panthers' success that year, which led him to getting MVP. We had probably the game of the week last week, I would say, was the Bucs and the Bills, a shootout, and that the Bills might be a little hungover from here as they are losing to the Texans right now. But they had a back and forth contest with the Bucs winning 44-32. But before, like, the 4th quarter, it was back and back, neck and neck. I think there were 9 lead changes in the game. Josh Allen, 317 passing yards in that game. Sean Tucker with 106 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. So he had a huge breakout game there. I believe he was put first as the starting back in front of Rachaad White. There are rumors that Bucky Irving will actually come back this week. I kind of need him to play in one of my fantasy matchups. I've been injury riddled in that one. I was having to start Tyrone Tracy and Tajay Spears, but with Bucky Irving coming back, he might be able to save my season, because I could get a little bit better than Tyrone Tracy and Tajay Spears from him. Last week, Houston just scraped out a win against Tennessee, 16-13. Lots of sacks in that game. I think the Texans got 4 and the Titans got 3. So it was definitely a defensive struggle. Tennessee was leading for a bit, but Houston was able to come back and win that one, 16-13. Davis Mills, 274 passing yards in that one. Nico Collins, 92 receiving yards. The Bears with another game-winning drive, 19-17 over Minnesota. They led most of the game, but they let Minnesota back into it. But they had one final drive at the end, and they were able to execute and got the 19-17 win. The Packers, they really tried to lose to the New York Giants, but they ended up pulling it off in the end, 27-20. But the Jameis Winston-led Giants definitely gave them a run for their money. All right, we've got the Bengals and the Steelers. This one was close for a while. It was a defensive battle until the Steelers broke it open in the second half. They end up winning that one 34-12. As I mentioned a little bit earlier in the stream, the Jaguars, I don't know what to think of this team, but they just came out and absolutely demolished the Los Angeles Chargers 35-6. And I really think when Jacksonville can get their rushing game going, it takes a lot less pressure off. It takes a lot more pressure off Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't have to play hero ball to win. He can just make the plays that he has to. And unfortunately, at this point in his career, it does seem like he's not going to be the player to elevate Jacksonville to the next level. He's just got to be the guy who manages the game and doesn't make the terrible mistakes and has like the flash of that amazing first overall pick talent. The going into the week, I thought Seattle and the Los Angeles Rams was going to be the game of the week. Turned out to be a little bit of a defensive struggle. The Rams' offense struggled a bit because Seattle's defense was playing incredibly well. But Sam Darnold, once again, last year it was the Lions and the Rams. The Rams pick him apart this year. 4 interceptions. The Seahawks got down early, but they clawed their way back. Weren't quite able to win. 21-19 was the final in that one. The Rams survive a last-second field goal attempt by Seattle, and props to the Rams punter. He punted them, got a punt, landed at like the half-yard line of Seattle, and if Seattle had been even 10 to 15 yards closer, that game-winning field goal might have gone through, but instead it was kind of out of Jason Myers' range, and he was not able to get it. San Francisco versus Arizona, the 49ers, they stomped them, but in so doing, the Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett set the record for completions in a game at 47. So that was definitely interesting, and they somehow still lost by 19. A low-scoring divisional battle between the Ravens and the Browns. Myles Garrett got 4 sacks in the game. I gotta check how many he has on the year because he had 5 against the Patriots, 4 against the Ravens. Let's take a look. Myles Garrett sacks 2025. Okay, he has 12. So, okay, outside of those 2 games, he doesn't have a ton. But, yeah, a 4-sack game against Baltimore. But Baltimore, they pull it off in the end. 23-16. Shedeur Sanders, we saw his first action, and it was not pretty. We'll have to see if he gets the start this week with Dylan Gabriel still in concussion protocol. Well, and it's against the Raiders. So I think the Raiders are an easier task than Baltimore. So we'll have to see if we can see a little bit better from Shedeur Sanders this week. Oh, big game for Denver fans. I have to say boo to this one. As people who follow this channel know, I am not a fan of the Denver Broncos. Mostly because of Super Bowl 50. But Denver able to beat their division rival Kansas City 22-19. And Kansas City at 5-5, they're officially in trouble. I think they're going to find a way to squeak into the playoffs, but it's going to be close. And for Sunday Night Football, we saw the Lions and the Eagles. This was a boring game. I watched this one. The Eagles showed, though, to me that their defense just has so much depth, and I think it's really going to propel them forward while their offense figures things out. Plus, defense wins championships in December and January football. I think their defense is just really good. They've got a lot of depth there, and it's going to carry them to victories. So if you saw in my power rankings this week, the Eagles jumped up significantly. They were the number 1 team, and I think it's going to be that defense that carries them down the stretch. And then Monday Night Football, kind of a foregone conclusion. The Cowboys were able to beat the hapless Raiders. They win 33-16. All right, so time to get my graphics set up here for the third quarter. The Texans are leading 20-16. All right. Fairbairn getting ready to kick the ball off to Buffalo. The Bills, they have a kickoff return touchdown today. Ray Davis took one 97 yards to the house. And it looks like they're afraid of it. They kick it into the end zone, but Ray Davis takes it out. Oh, and he fell down at the 20. So that's an old touchback. As the possession football is going to move over to Buffalo. Dun dun. All right, we've got 20-16 Houston over Buffalo. Josh Allen starts this out of the shotgun. He's got James Cook moving in motion from the left to the right, settles on the settles to the right of Josh Allen. It's a handoff, and he's only going to get one. So yeah, I think the Bills, they need a statement drive here. Because that was a rough way to end the half for them, giving up the touchdown to the Texans. All right, we got 2nd and 9 coming up here for Buffalo. Josh Allen in the shotgun. He's got, that's Elijah Moore moving in motion. And now James Cook moves from the left to the right. It's a fake handoff to Cook. Josh Allen looks, throws underneath. I believe that's Hawks. He's going to get it to, I believe, the 40-yard line. Sorry, Hawes. My bad. So a good pickup for Buffalo and a first down. Yeah, it's just nobody was really on the second level there in the middle. Hawes is just kind of waiting there to see if Josh Allen's going to throw him the ball. He's got room to turn and run with it. 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. So I was close. Thought it was the 40. It's the 39. Josh Allen takes the snap out of the shotgun and is only going to get one. It was kind of a design QB run there, but the Texans sniff it out well. 20-16, Texans over the Bills. Got 2nd and 9 here at the 40-yard line. As we wind under 13 to play in the third quarter. And there's the handoff. It's James Cook. It's about a 2-yard gain. So this is going to be 3rd down upcoming, about a 3rd and 7. This Texans defense playing really hard tonight. All right. 3rd and 6 is officially what they call it. Josh Allen out of the backfield. There's the snap. Oh, it's Will Anderson. Almost got him, but doesn't. Yeah, you got to get more than just arms on Josh Allen there. Oh, but Will Anderson then comes back and gets him. So that's Will Anderson's 3rd sack on Josh Allen today. He's having himself a night. And I mean, Josh Allen was scrambling around there for a while, so you got to give credit to this Houston secondary as well. They were not letting anybody get open there. So yeah, Anderson misses the initial sack, but sticks with the play and is then able to get Josh Allen down again. And that's a huge play. Okay, so they're saying it's only 2 sacks, so maybe that first one that it looked like Josh Allen got hurt on, he might have actually gotten some yardage on it. Howdy, Delta Pop. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Yeah, we've got an interesting one here. Oh, the possession football needs to move. Dun dun. Yeah, the Texans unexpectedly beating the Bills here 20-16. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel, listening live on YouTube Live. We post great content all the time, so if you like what you're hearing, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to be notified of all our great content. We post game picks on Tuesday, power rankings on Wednesday, and on Thursdays we stream my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. For those new to the channel, I am also a Carolina Panthers fan. This has definitely been an interesting season for us. We have some really great moments and some really not so great moments, and it's kind of reflected in our record. We're 6-5, kind of middle of the pack. But, I mean, usually this time of year, I'm like, yep, the season's over. We're like 3-8 or something like that. Okay, so yeah, no, the Texans, they started with a field goal, and then after they gave up a Bills, so the Bills got a touchdown. Bills are up 6-0. The Texans went down and got a field goal, so 6-3. The Bills went down and got another field goal, so it was 9-3. But then the Texans were able to go downfield. I think they had a 4th down conversion in there, and were able to get a touchdown pass to Christian Kirk to go up 10-9. And then the ensuing drive, the Bills, Josh Allen threw an interception. It got ran back for a touchdown, but there was an illegal block or blindside block, so they were at their own 30. They kind of stalled there and had to settle for a field goal, so it was 13-9. And then they kick it off, and Ray Davis takes it 97 yards for a touchdown. So the Bills took all the momentum back, 16-13, but there was about 1:40 left in the second quarter at that point. And the Texans had a really good drive downfield and were able to get a touchdown to Jalen Higgins just before the half with 5 seconds left. And so, yeah, that has them up 20-16 at this point. Yeah, I know, it's kind of surprising, especially after the game against the Titans last week. They did not look like they were very good on offense. Although Davis Mills, he had 274 passing yards, so they're at least able to move the ball in the air a little bit. But yeah, the Texans with a big opportunity here. They hold the Bills on their first possession of the half. Texans looking to add more points. Mills under center. It's a screen pass. Sets it up to Chubb. And Chubb, he gets about 12 on the play. Yeah, no, it was a little slow to start, but then, yeah, just kind of fireworks to end the half there. For those of you tuning in, thanks for spending some of your evening with us. This is the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. It is 20-16 Texans over the Bills here on Thursday Night Football. You're listening to my live reactions. We have 10:50 to play in the third quarter here. Oh, so it looks like that play is actually coming back because of an illegal man downfield on the screen pass. So it's 1st and 15. And here's a pass in the flat to Chubb. That might lose a yard. Looks like it will. So we've got a 2nd and 16 coming up. And oh my gosh, we've got another injury. Players getting injured a lot today. That is number 8 for the Bills. That's Terrell Bernard. Yeah, it looks like he's got an arm injury. Hopefully he's okay. 10:27 left in the third quarter. 20-16. Texans over the Bills. Oh, I think he got hit in the arm, like the forearm, by his own team's helmet while he was trying to make the tackle. Balling out is a strong way to put it. Let's take a look at his stats. Yeah, he only has a 50% completion rating, but he's got some good completions on the day. He's 9 of, oh, sorry, the stats just updated here. So he's 12 completions for out of 22 attempts, 121 yards, a 54.5 completion percentage, but 2 touchdown passes. What really is more the thing, they're getting the running game going a decent amount with Woody Marks and Nick Chubb. That is keeping the Bills on their heels a bit. But with the 2 touchdowns, Davis Mills does have a 100.8 rating, so not a bad game for him. But you would like to see that completion percentage up a little bit higher. He started the game 1 of 8 passing, so that was definitely not a good start to the game. Josh Allen, on the other hand, is 12 of 16 for 106 yards, 75% completion percentage. But he does have the interception he threw, and he's been sacked twice. It was close to 3 times. Apparently, they're calling the first sack that Willie Anderson had on Josh Allen. Apparently, that was a tackle. He must have gotten past the line of scrimmage. But yeah, if that was a sack, Willie Anderson would have had 3 sacks on Josh Allen tonight, so he's coming to play. Yeah, I would say a lot of this, because you can take away 7 points from the Bills. This game could be 20-9. The Texans defense has really been showing out today. But yeah, this is an important game for Houston to stay in the the AFC playoff picture. They are the 8th team. They got to find a way to overtake Jacksonville. They are a game and a half, or I don't know who has the tiebreaker right now because they split in their divisional games. But they are a game behind Jacksonville right now. All right, we've got 2nd and 16. Mills has the ball. It's a 4-man rush, and he's just going to run with it to get some yardage here. Looks to be about a 7-yard run, but there is a flag that might be holding on the Texans. It is holding on the Texans. It's funny you say that, Delta Pop, because I was actually bringing this up earlier, and I believe the Texans, so they have the number 1 total defense in the league by yardage. They have the 3rd passing defense, the 3rd rushing defense. So in the passing and rushing metrics, they are 3rd in the league. So you've got it pretty much right there. All right, 2nd and 26 for Houston. This has been a little bit of a nightmare of a drive. So when you're this backed up with this far to go, you're kind of hoping, hey, let's just not make a mistake that gives the Bills an opportunity. So here's a handoff for Woody Marks. Looks like he's going to get about 7 on the run. So this is probably about a 3rd and 19 coming up. Sorry, 3rd and 16. So that was a 10-yard run. (20-16) Texans over the Bills. 3rd and 16. Unlikely that they're going to make this 3rd down, but we'll see what they've got. It's a 4-man rush. Oh, they fake a screen pass, and then they try to go the other way with Marks, but it might be a false start on the Texans. Mills just kind of dirted the ball there. Let's see what the flag is. I'm guessing it's a false start. So it's an ineligible man downfield. They are having problems with that today. So it'll stay an incomplete pass as Mills just kind of dirted the ball. So 4th and 16 upcoming. That was not the best drive by Houston there. So the Bills going to get the ball back. 9 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. And here's the punt. It's going to be fielded. I believe that's Khalil Shakir. He's back in. And he's taken down at about the 12-yard line. Let's see what the flag is. There is a flag on the play. So Delta Pop, what do you think of these the Texans all red uniforms here? That's what they're wearing tonight. Yeah, I'm a Panthers fan. You can see by my my hoodie here that I've got. It's been a rough couple of years, but at least we're staying competitive this year. I was saying earlier in the stream, we're usually like this point of the year. I swear it's been like since 2019. That I've had a season where there's actually some hope at this point in the season. I do take that back. I forgot the year 2022 where the Bucs won the division with an 8-9 record. We actually had a shot at the division like 2 weeks left in the season. But besides that, this is the farthest into the season where it's like, oh, we actually have a shot at the playoffs. The games are a little bit more interesting to watch. So we've got a huge game upcoming against the 49ers this week because the 49ers are currently in that 7th seed spot. So if we can win that and the Lions continue to lose, we can get that 7th seed. The other thing to consider is that we could even get up to the 4th seed because the Bucs are starting to lose, and we're only a half a game behind them now. So that's huge. I felt like the Bucs, they're a good team, but in the beginning, they were winning a lot of last possession games. So I wasn't sure how much that would last. They're kind of reminding me a bit of the Bills right now, because the Bills, they keep pulling, the Bears. I'm not sold on the 7-3 Bears. They keep pulling out these ridiculous wins. Oh, gotta move the possession football. The Bills have it now. Dun-dun. All right, it's 1st and 10 for Buffalo. It's a handoff to James Cook, and he's going to get about 3 yards on the ground. Got about 8:50 left in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. If you like what you're listening to, give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that bell notification to get notified of all of our great videos. We post weekly picks on Tuesdays, power rankings on Wednesdays, and on Thursdays we post stream my live reactions to Thursday Night Football, like we are tonight. 2nd and 6 from their own 14. Josh Allen just dirts it at the feet of Haas. So this is going to be a 3rd and 6 coming up. Josh Allen having some trouble against this Texans defense. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in and choosing to spend part of your evening with me. Thanks for joining. Glad to have you in. All right, we've got a 3rd and 6. Josh Allen in the shotgun. He's got Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson has had some good plays on 3rd down in the passing game. The pass rush is getting to Allen, and they get him again. 3rd sack of the night for the Texans, and this is Danielle Hunter, I believe. Let me check that. Yeah, Danielle Hunter. Sorry, my bad. Or maybe it is Danielle. That might be Danielle. Depends on the pronunciation of the syllables. All right, we've got the punt here. And it's fair caught by Noel at the 40, their own 46. So that's going to be over to the Texans here. Dun dun. So yeah, that's the ultimate question. Is Bryce Young a long-term franchise quarterback option? I don't think so. I think he's a Daniel Jones. That's kind of my official read on him. He's got some talent. He's probably going to get paid this offseason by the Panthers, but is he going to deserve it? No. Because if you look, like, he had a great game against Atlanta this last week and set the franchise record of passing yards. But if you look at all the games, I think it was like the previous 6 or 7 games before that, he didn't break 200 yards passing. So a lot of the Panthers' success was their run game. It was not Bryce Young. Now, one thing I will give Bryce Young credit for, and this is a very important trait to have in a quarterback, he is clutch. You give him the ball at the end of the game with a chance to win. We are doing really well with that this year. Having game-leading drives, game-winning drives, we've been able to do it. So in the games where we're not getting blown out, we've had some success. We've done it 3 times this year. Well, actually, maybe even a 4th against Miami. But we definitely did it against Cowboys. It was so as far as walk-off field goals go, we did it against Dallas, we did it against Green Bay, and now we just did it against the Atlanta Falcons. So, yeah, I consider myself a realist. I'm not going to be this type of Panthers fan that just says, oh, everyone's great or whatnot and the team is fantastic, because that's just wrong. So, yeah, I think that's my honest take on Bryce Young. I want him to be good, but I think he's going to be one of these guys who he's playing good enough at the right time, so he's going to get paid because he's on his 4th year of his rookie contract next year, and I don't think we did the 5th year option. So we either have to pay him or he goes to free agency. And then where do you pick off if you get a free agent quarterback? Maybe you get someone like Kyler Murray, but I don't really think I would want Kyler Murray over Bryce Young. So I don't think it's that much of an upgrade. Kyler Murray, ever since he tore his ACL, he's just not the same quarterback. So it looks like we actually had one of the officials get injured on the field. Guess they have a substitute ref, but yeah, no, he might have really injured his knee there. It's not often you see that. It was a non-contact injury, too. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a ref get subbed out. All right, we've got Davis Mills under center. They start from their own 42-yard line. This is a handoff to Woody Marks. Looks like it's a 3-yard gain. Yeah, everyone's getting hurt in this game, even the refs. It's ridiculous. Oh, and we've got another Bills player down. What is going on in this game? And that might be a head injury to Hairston. Yeah, he kind of hit the backside face first. Might be getting evaluated for a concussion there. We're midway through the third quarter, 7:16 to play, second down for the Texans, as we've got yet another injury timeout. But yeah, Delta Pop, I take it you're a Texans fan? I was kind of surprised C.J. Stroud didn't play in this one. Must be a pretty bad concussion he got. Actually, that's a fair point. How is that? What is that? That is Gregoria Greg. Yeah, Gregoria Greg. Yeah, no, agreed. Like, if the NFL really cared about player safety, they wouldn't be playing Thursday night football games. But here we are. Yeah, and I think you might just see it even more, especially with like these international. Like, I think I heard the NFL is in talks right now to expand its international series to Paris. So it would be like, it might not happen next year, but there's talks that the Saints might play a game in Paris next year. That's like the earliest it could happen. But yeah, we'll have to see what comes of that. But yeah, the international series is just going to continue to grow. And then eventually they're going to throw that 18th game in there too. So yeah, I think you're just going to keep seeing more and more injuries. Or they're going to keep dumbing down the game so people get injured less. But for you, those of you just tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel. You're listening to my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. It's 20-16 Texans over Bills. If you like what you're listening to, give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell to be notified of all my videos. I drop videos throughout the week, weekly picks on Tuesday, power rankings on Wednesday, and I stream my live reactions to Thursday Night Football on Thursdays. All right, we got Davis Mills under center. Hands it off to Woody Marks. He's going to get about 5. Yeah, seriously. No, and I'm of the opinion that it won't happen anytime soon, because if there was a team that was going to do it, it was going to be Jacksonville. Shad Khan was really trying to get the team over to London. But then they got their stadium deal, so they're staying in Jacksonville, and they have a clause in that they like have to stay there for like the next 20-something years or something like that. So Jaguars were the team that were most likely to move outside of the U.S., and since they're not going to, I don't think you're going to see it anytime soon. That's my take on it. And I don't know why my camera is being fuzzy tonight. Come on. Yeah, I know. I saw that, Bill. I was like, 5 minutes. He's been gone forever. Okay, come on, camera. All right, there we go. All right, we've got the Texans driving here. Third down and about 3, I believe. Sorry, 3rd and 2. Yeah, so we had an interesting series of events there. We had a ref go down with a non-contact injury. We had the substitute ref have to sub in for him. And then the next play after that, a Bills player got injured. So there's been a lot of stoppage in play here. We're at 6 minutes and 51 seconds left. Oh, that guy, his arm's in a sling. The Bills guy who got injured on that previous play, so he might have broke his arm. And here's a handoff to, oh, is that Chubb? He gets stood up. No gain. And they're at their own 40, they're at the Bills' 45-yard line. Is this 4-down territory for Houston? No worries, Bill. All right, we got to see what Houston ends up doing here. Oh, they're bringing out the punt team. I know it's a close game and your defense is playing well, but I would love to keep this drive going. But yeah, Chubb not able to get anything there. We've got a flag here. That looks like it might be a false start on Houston, and the game's starting to get a little sloppy. Oh no, rooting for the Texans just because you want the Bills to be sad. I'm that way about Denver. If for people who have followed this channel, my least favorite team is the Denver Broncos because of Super Bowl 50. We should have won Super Bowl 50, but that didn't happen because of a stupid team who had to take it from us. So I revel at any opportunity to see the Broncos play bad. Now, the problem this year is that Denver's actually playing good. So the punt just happened here. It's downed within the 15-yard line. Possession football goes over to the Bills. Dun-dun. But yeah, Broncos 9-1 and the first seed in the AFC does not make me happy. I'm not a happy person. Yeah, because I had the Chiefs pulling that win off and then kind of starting to make their way up to winning that AFC West, and then the Broncos were going to start like going down. But to the Broncos' credit, their defense is amazing. I will not take that away from them at all. I just hate seeing them play well. All right, here's a handoff to James Cook. They're from their own 8-yard line. Looks like he got about 3 on the run there as we tick under 5:40 to play in the third quarter. It is still 20-16 Houston. We had a lot of back and forth scoring at the end of the first half, but this third quarter, nothing really going. Second and 6 coming up for the Bills. Josh Allen has been sacked 3 times tonight, twice by Will Anderson Jr. Josh Allen out of the shotgun. Texans bring 4. Allen throws. It's complete for about 4 yards to Khalil Shakir, so a very manageable 3rd and 3 upcoming. Yeah, and it's actually interesting because sometimes teams just live and die by those like one possession games. Now, the Broncos should have another loss. They had no business making that comeback against the Giants. That was just the Giants completely imploding. But I saw a stat where the Chiefs last year, they were 11-0 in one-score games, and then they're 0-5 this year. So those really close games, when it comes to year over year, don't be surprised if the Broncos don't have this good of a record next year. All right, we've got Bills on 3rd and 3. Throws. Oh, Shakir had the catch. Are they going to call it a fumble? Are they going to call it a fumble? The Texans have it. It looks like that's what the ruling on the field is. This might get reviewed. It is a turnover. So this will get reviewed to see if he actually had full possession. I kind of think he did. It looked like he caught it and made 2 steps. They are ruling that it's Texans' ball. He's got it. He's got it. Yeah, he takes like 2 steps and then loses it. I would love the Broncos to lose in the playoffs early. I did a recent. I have a standings board that I have. I homemade it myself with like magnetic helmets on it. And every week I do a prediction of, given the current playoff picture, how do I think it's going to play out? I had Broncos and Eagles in the Super Bowl with the Eagles winning because I feel like both of those teams are just very defensive oriented. It would probably be the most boring Super Bowl ever. But yeah, I think that's what we're on a collision course for right now. But yeah, no, it has been confirmed that it is Texans ball. They run a play. It's a Woody Marks run for like 3-4 yards. Texans have the ball back. So if the Bills end up losing this game, they have no one to blame but themselves. They've played very sloppy tonight. They've been giving the Texans short fields. All right, 2nd and 3. That was actually a 7-yard run by Woody Marks. They've got the ball at the Bills' 15. Marks again. That's only going to be a 1-yard gain as we're under 3.5 to play in the third. Third and 2 upcoming. So if it was like the Jaguars ahead of them, I think they would. I think they're too far behind the Colts to steal the division, unless the Colts really start faltering down the stretch. I think the Colts are going to end up winning it. Oh, and there's Woody Marks. He had guys having him in the backfield there, but he's able to get the 2 yards he needs for the first down. So the Bills, we've seen some issues with their tackling today, and you see it reflected in the stats. We were talking about it earlier, the season rankings, the defensive rankings. They're second against the pass, but they're 31st against the run, and I think a lot of this is because they're missing tackles. Like, they should have had Marks in the backfield for no gain, but instead he's able to get 2 yards in the first down. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Colts are only, like, if the Texans win this game, the Colts are only 2 games ahead of them. Oh, Woody Marks got hit down there. So that's no gain. Woody Marks getting a lot of carries in this one. Yeah, but I think the Colts, like, Jonathan Taylor's running that team right now. I think if you take Taylor away from it, Daniel Jones isn't going to be nearly as good in that system. I think Taylor's just having an insane season. All right, Bills showing pressure here on 2nd and 10. The Texans have it at the 11-yard line, so they still can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Bills back off a bit, and is this a false start on the Texans? No, it's a delay of game. Delay of game by Houston, so this is going to make it 2nd and 15. You got to keep your eye on that play clock. That's inexcusable. Come on, General Mills. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Thanks for choosing to spend some of your evening with me. Glad to have you with us. Mills out of the shotgun. He's got 5 wide receivers running out there. He throws the ball, got tipped at the line. It's incomplete. Got 3rd and 15 coming up, 1 minute and 5 seconds left. But even just getting a field goal here is big because that is a touchdown lead for the Texans. Yeah, a lot of times teams will call a timeout before the delay a game happens. Plus, they're being very generous with that, like, last second when it's, like, double zeros on the play clock. But yeah, so if you get a delay a game now, you are really delaying of gaming. I know that was the greatest way to say that, but all right, we got Mills out of the shotgun. He throws it short. That's Christian Kirk. Gonna get it to about the 7-yard line. So I think he got about like half the yardage back there. But this is, yeah, just probably, they did a short, safe play, see if they could break something. But they're going to come out with a field goal unit here. But that's still positive here. But that's 2 turnovers that the Texans have only been able to turn into 6 points. If they had gotten those into touchdowns, this would be a way different game. It's going to be a 26-yard field goal for Fairbairn. The snap, the hold, the kick, it's good. 23-16, Texans over the Bills. 17 seconds left in the third quarter. So even though everything seems to be going the Texans' way, the Bills just need one drive and the game will be tied. So the Bills' defense, while it hasn't been playing its best tonight, it's been doing enough keeping the Texans out of the end zone to keep this game close. Yep, it's just a one-possession game, and that's the thing that's crazy about football. And, I mean, we could see Ray Davis return a kickoff for a touchdown. It happened earlier. And then, just like that, the game can be tied. One play can really change the course of the game. But the Texans do have a 7-point lead, 23-16 over Buffalo here in Houston. On Thursday Night Football, the home team does have a huge advantage, and the Bills, they're coming right off a hard-fought win over Tampa Bay. So a little bit of a trap game coming in on a short week against Houston on the road, and Houston is really trying to win these games to save their season. Yeah, if Prater didn't miss, they'd be trying to get a touchdown drive to take the lead. All right, Fairbairn to kick off with 17 seconds left on the clock. Is he going to kick it into the end zone again? He is, and they're telling, was that Ty Johnson back there? Ray Davis was telling him to stay put. But yeah, it seems like the Texans, gotta move the possession football. Dun-dun. But they're willing to kick it into the end zone and have a touchback that comes back out to the 35-yard line rather than risk a kickoff return touchdown because they gave one up earlier in the game. To me, that just shows no faith in your special teams. Like, I know it was a big play, but you gotta... Like, if you do the kickoff right, you can generally get them at, like, the 25-yard line. Here's the rush, and they sack Josh Allen again! Number 39 coming in. I think he's a linebacker. That's Henry Tutu. Toto? Yeah, he's a linebacker. Third year out of Alabama. And that's going to end the quarter. As we head into the fourth, the Texans holding on to a 7-point lead, 23-16 over Buffalo. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. So looking at this playoff picture a little bit, looking at the AFC first, you've got those stinking Broncos first at the first seed. But yeah, the Patriots, they keep winning games, and really, I think the Patriots, the only thing that's really still on their remaining schedule is another matchup against the Bills, and I was mentioning earlier in the stream, they have that one at home. So they won the tough one. They won the one in Buffalo. So I think the Patriots hold on to the AFC East there because the rest of their schedule is pretty garbage, except for that one game against Buffalo. And then you've got the Colts at third in the division. The Steelers, third at the third seed. Steelers in the fourth seed. I think the Steelers are going to lose that to the Ravens. I think the Ravens are pretty red hot right now. They've won 4 in a row. And yeah, Lamar's healthy. As long as he can stay healthy, I think the Ravens have a legit chance of taking over that 4 seed. The Bills are in the 5th seed, but that could be in danger if they lose this one. Chargers got blown out last week, and they could be in trouble going down the stretch. They're in the 6th seed, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are in the 7th seed. We'll have to see if that stands. I have no idea what to think of that Jacksonville team, but they are in that 7th seed, and they seem to be keeping it there. Yeah, no, Bills O-line definitely having some trouble. They've given up 4 sacks today. 2 to Will Anderson. That was Toto who got the last one. And then I forget who got the third one. But over in the NFC, the Eagles, they're in that 1 seed again. And unfortunately, I think that defense is just going to be really good down the stretch, so I would not be surprised if they maintain that 1st overall seed. But I'm really hoping my team is the Rams here. I think that the Rams could dethrone them. I know they had not the best game against Seattle, but Seattle's got a really good defense, so got to give them credit there. The Bears are in the 3rd seed, and there is no reason the Bears should be in the 3rd seed. I do not think that is going to hold for the end of the year. All right, Josh Allen back on a 2nd and 18. They're at their own 27-yard line from the shotgun throws. It's underneath to James Cook down at the 32, so that's going to be about a 4-yard gain. So it's still 3rd and long here. Texans defense has been playing an excellent game against this Bills offense. And you really got to credit it to the pressure they've been able to get on Josh Allen. Those 4 sacks, huge in this game. And the Bills have also turned the ball over twice. (23-16) Houston over Buffalo. 3rd and 13. This is a pretty important play for Buffalo. If they don't get it, they're going to have to... It's pressure for Josh Allen. He's able to roll out. He's got to keep it going, and he's going to get that 1st down just running it. Slides right at the line. You would have thought he would have gone a little bit farther, but I think that's definitely enough for the 1st down. Yeah, that was a fun parody song I did last year, because I was trying to be... That was me trying to be hopeful last year. Going into that, I was like, okay, new coach. He was able to reinvigorate the careers of Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith. Let's see if he can do the same thing for Bryce Young. And then they come out week 1 and lose 47-10 to the Saints. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a terrible year. And it was for a while, and then we kind of turned things around after our bye week, like at the mid-season point. Got a couple of wins, had a couple of should-have-been wins, should have beaten the Eagles, should have beaten the Chiefs, but didn't quite pull it off. And now that's kind of trickled into this year, where it's like we're capable of beating anyone or we're capable of losing to anyone. I swear, if we had just beaten the Saints, we were at home. And if we had just been able to beat the Saints, we'd be in the playoff picture right now. But you could also say it's like, hey, we could have lost that one to the Falcons. So I guess there's a give and take there. This is a handoff to James Cook on 2nd and 8. He's popping a big one here. That's probably about 20 yards. He's down to the 30-yard line of Houston. Oh, so you're a Steelers fan, Delta Pop. Okay. Yeah, maybe they'll do enough. Like, the Steelers are very much just, in my opinion, they're that kind of average team. And I've heard Steelers fans complain about this, where it's like, they're always good enough to get into the playoffs, but then they don't do anything in the playoffs, and so they never get any better. And so maybe they're going to be able to do just enough to be that team this year and win the division, because they already kind of have that head start over Baltimore. And then Baltimore will end up getting like the 7th seed or something. But I just don't really see a world where the Steelers get past the 1st round of the playoffs and they get any higher than the 4th seed. But maybe things will go different down the stretch. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that Aaron Rodgers wrist injury is all about. I heard that he might be playing this week, so That would be interesting because they were saying it was like a mild break in his wrist. I guess you just tape that up and hope. I guess it's not his throwing hand, so. All right, 2nd and 7 is a handoff to Cook. He's going to get about 4. That gets him to, I think, the 15-yard line. So the Packers are, sorry, yeah, I didn't quite finish talking about the NFC. Yeah, Seahawks are 5th, Packers are 6th, 49ers are 7th. So yeah, Packers 6-3-1 hold the 6th seed. Seahawks are 7-3, hold the 5th seed. 49ers 7-4, hold the 7th seed. But yeah, Bears in the division lead is just stupid. I just don't think that's gonna last. All right, Josh Allen out of the shotgun, hands it to James Cook. So yeah, they're at that was no gain, so they're at like the 24-yard line. It's 4th down now. What are the Bills gonna do? Are they gonna go for the field goal here? And it looks like they might be bringing Prater on. Prater did miss an extra point earlier. It's 4th and 1. I think you go for this. Now, the Bills, they had a really risky play on their first drive of the game. Went for it on like their own 30-yard line. In basically this same exact situation. They just had Josh Allen jump over the top. And he basically gained 3 yards just doing that. Hi, Parker Carey. Welcome in. Oh, it's a 4th down. They go for it, and James Cook doesn't get there. Loss of 2. Oh my gosh, this Texans defense has come to play. And the possession football is going to go over to the Texans. Oh, dun dun. Did you hear his? Wait, so the... Did you hear he was mad that the Steelers... So the Steelers leaked the info about his wrist? Is that what it was? Oh, yeah, I think I did hear a little bit about that. Or was that... Or no. Sorry, I'm mixing that up with Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was trying to deny the rumors that he wasn't coming back for the season or something like that. Because that came out earlier today. I don't know what Kirby Smart Coach is. All right, but we've got an interesting one coming down the stretch here. The Bills still just need one drive. One drive to make this a game. If their defense can do enough and just get the ball back to their offense, one touchdown gets it for them. But the Bills defense, they do have to hold firm and not let the Texans make this a 2-possession game. Because a field goal for Houston here is huge. But Houston does have it deep in their own territory. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got to say, I don't know much about college football. My extent of knowledge of college football is really just trying to keep an eye on the prospects that are coming in for the next year. But yeah, I confess I don't really watch too much college football. I'm more of a professional football guy. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel here on YouTube Live. If you like what you're seeing, give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that notification bell. We post great content all the time. On Tuesdays, we post my weekly game picks. Wednesdays, we post my weekly power rankings. And on Thursdays, I post my live reactions to Thursday Night Football. All right, Davis Mills hands it off to Woody Marks for about 1 yard. So this is going to keep the clock running as we're under 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. clock continues to run, the Texans are going to do whatever they can to just take time off this clock. They sometimes call it the 8-minute drill in football, where you just run a really long drive to milk the rest of the game. Oh, well, that's not how you do it. Throws underneath to Cade Stover, just drops it, and that stops the clock. Yeah, Cade Stover had another target earlier in the game and dropped it, so 2 drops on the day for him. All right, big 3rd and 9 for Houston here. And the Bills bring pressure. There's a free rusher at Davis Mills, and he's not going to get away. He throws it away. Did he get back to the line of scrimmage? So the Bills hold them. Have to see what happens here, because the Texans are going to punt, and the Bills will get another chance. All right, so they do consider that not grounding, so it is 4th and 9. This will be a punt. So Bills defense does its job, forces the 3 and out, and not much time taken off the clock there. There's the kick. It's fielded by Khalil Shakir. Shakir being a little loose with the ball there. He does end up tucking it into his body. Gets about 7 on the return. The possession football is going to move. Dun dun. 23-16 with 9 and change on the clock. 9:09 left in the 4th quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. 23-16 Texans over the Bills. But the Bills, they're going to get another chance. So they got it into Houston territory last time, down and around their 25-yard line. But they failed on a 4th and 1. It was a handoff to James Cook, and he got stopped 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So the Houston Texans defense, they've got 4 sacks on Josh Allen today. They've been making it really hard for the Bills offense to get anything going, because the Bills have 16 points, but 7 of those were on a kickoff return touchdown. So this could be 23-9 right now. Yeah, the Bills, they've played a pretty sloppy game here. They have 2 turnovers, and their offensive line just is not performing well against this Texans defensive line. Do. Oh, but yeah, I did have a comment on my power rankings this week that the Steelers went down. So sometimes you will see that happen in my power rankings, even if a team wins, if I feel like other teams around them need to move up more. So if I have to rearrange the teams, I'm not always going to be like, oh, a team wins, they move up. I'm trying to rank all the teams with how good I think they are. And so, yeah, if one team didn't have as impressive of a win, or, yeah, for the Steelers in that case, I think it was, they ended up pulling away in, like, the 4th quarter or something. But for the most part, it was a pretty close game. I just didn't think it was, like, a super impressive win, and other teams around them had more impressive wins. So I kind of had to shift them down to move others up. All right, we've got Josh Allen. I don't know. I think... I get the feeling the Texans are going to win this one. I feel like their defense is doing what it needs to. Now, that being said, the NFL does favor offense, and I would say the Bills' offense is playing more consistently than the Texans' offense is. They've just made mistakes. Oh, it's another sack. Another sack of Josh Allen, 5th on the day. And we're at 3rd down for the Bills already. That's Barnett. Will Anderson causes him to step up, though, and into the arms of Barnett. Will Anderson having a monster game today. Yeah, Will Anderson also going for that strip sack there. Yeah, and the thing that's crazy about the 5 sacks on Josh Allen, it could be a lot worse. He's gotten away from a lot of them. And here's Shakir. The Texans brought the rush. Oh, he's still going. He's at the 30, the 25, the 20. And that's a huge play for Buffalo. On a 3rd and 12, the Texans brought the heat. Josh Allen's able to get it to Khalil Shakir in the flat. And that is a massive gain on 3rd down. They're at their own 35-yard line and get it all the way to the 20 of the Texans. Yeah, it's really, they just bring extra rushers, and Khalil Shakir is able to sneak out in the flat there, make one guy miss, or 2 guys miss, actually, and is able to get a huge gain on it. So that's probably that is the biggest. Oh, it's another sack! It's another sack on Josh Allen. 6th on the day. So even though the Texans give up the big play there, they come right back and sack Josh Allen. Yeah, I think the Texans gambled a little bit there. They brought extra heat, and then Khalil Shakir was able to just shift out of the backfield, and Josh Allen was able to get it above the line and get it over to him in the flat. All right, 2nd and 15. Allen throws, gets it to Shakir, so that's probably going to negate the sack. It's a 5-yard gain. It's going to be about a 3rd and 10. And at this point in the game, the Bills could take the field goal here. Doesn't really do you too much good. It makes it so that you could get a touchdown for the win instead of the tie. If you want to avoid overtime here, we're under 6.5 to play. 3rd and 10. This is a huge play. Ty Johnson's in the backfield with Josh Allen, who's in the shotgun. Play clock winding down. He gets the snap off. It's a 4-man rush by Houston. Oh my gosh! Okay, so he threw that, but that might be intentional grounding. Unless they consider, okay, so they are considering it incompletion. But yeah, again, that's Danielle Hunter. Yeah, got to Josh Allen. He's just not having any success. Yeah, I don't really know. Maybe they're saying he was getting sacked, so he wasn't grounding the ball there, but I didn't really see a receiver near there to hit the back of his offensive line, man. All right, Prater. They are going for the field goal. 38-yard attempt. The kick is up, and it's good. So the Bills, they reduced the lead to 4. So what that does for them is that they could give up a field goal to Houston and still have a chance. But yeah, Houston's defense. So I think it's a combination of the Houston pass rush being really good and the Bills' O-line just not playing well tonight. But the Texans, they are 3rd in pass defense, 3rd in rush defense, and I think they're number 1 in yards allowed per game. I had that up over here. Yeah, Texans, number 1 in total defense. So Texans have a really good defense. Their offense hasn't been pulling the weight this year. All right, coming down the stretch. Also, looking ahead to next game. Next week is Thanksgiving, so I will not be streaming on that Thursday. We'll take a look and see what the next Thursday night football game is. So that would be week 14 schedule. Yeah, because that's Thanksgiving. Yep. Okay, yeah, so the next one will actually be Lions. I was last year when I was doing some of these streams, I was almost becoming a bit of a Lions channel because I think I did 3 Lions streams. But this will actually be my first Lions game. It'll be the Cowboys at the Lions on December 4th. Will be the next Dustytron live reaction stream. Oh, that's a big game on Thanksgiving. That's going to be really important. The Packers took care of business last time against the Lions, but that was week 1. Week 1 is weird, and this one's going to be in Detroit. So that'll be interesting to see who can pull that one out. That was actually last year when I streamed the Packers-Lions game in Detroit. That was my most watched stream because that was the one where Dan Campbell went for it on 4th down to ice the game and got it. But yeah, that extra point missed by Prater coming in big here because they'd only be down 3 if he didn't miss that. So here's the kickoff. It's fielded by the Texans at about the 4-yard line. That's Noel. Trying to cut it back upfield. I think he's trying to do a little bit too much with that. Down at the 20. So the Houston offense, they got to do something here. Huge drive upcoming for the Houston Texans. Mills under center. They call it the 21-yard line. They must have given him forward progress. All right, that's Mills. Back to throw. Throws. It's complete. Did he keep his feet down? That's Higgins. All right, there you go, Higgins. You actually kept your feet in along the sideline this time. Oh, possession football needs to move. My bad. Ah, dun-dun. So that goes for about 11 for Houston. Working against Trey White there. All right, does he get it? He does get it this time, paying much more attention to where his feet are. So it's a good catch by Higgins. All right, 1st and 10, Davis Mills under center, hands it off to Marks. He's not going to get anything. No gain on the play, might have lost a yard. But that clock is running as we're at 4:45 to play in the 4th quarter. 23-19 Texans over the Bills. Can they hold on? The Bills have 6 sacks on the Texans have 6 sacks on Josh Allen today. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Marks, that was Chubb. My bad. All right, Mills out of the shotgun. He does have Woody Marks behind him this time, and that's a pass out on the flat to Jalen Higgins. It's going to get about 4, so we've got a 3rd and 6 coming up here. Yep, 3rd and 6 as we wind under 4 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Big 3rd down here because if they get this 3rd down, the Bills got to start considering taking some of their timeouts. But if they can hold them here, they can have all 3 timeouts and a final drive. Texans at their own 41-yard line. They bring extra man on the rush. Throws, it's complete to Noel, but he's going to be 3 yards shy. Just a crossing route that they dumped it off to him on, and that's not enough. As we wind under 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And the Bills are actually going to let that clock run. I guess you want to keep that timeout in your back pocket in case you have to punt. You would have one more chance to force the Texans to go 3 and out. All right, there's the punt. Oh, it bounces forward. Oh, and Shakir fields it after that. It's going to get it to about the 19-yard line. So the possession football moves. Dun dun. And so the Bills need a touchdown. They're down 4. Need a touchdown in order to take the lead in this game. Can they do it? Josh Allen and company, they've had a rough game, but they can fix everything by getting a touchdown on this drive. For those of you just tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. If you like what you're listening to, give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that notification bell. We post great content all the time. My weekly picks on Tuesday, power rankings on Wednesday, and I stream my live reaction to Thursday Night Football on Thursdays. The first play is a about 6-yard pass to James Cook out of the flat. And so there'll be at least one more play before the 2-minute warning. We just wound under 2.5 minutes to play. Second and 4, 23-19. Texans over Bills. Bills trying to do a 2-minute drill to take the lead. It's a handoff to James Cook for about 2, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Coming right down to the wire here. Bills driving, trying to take the lead over the Texans, trailing by 4. It is 23-19. Texans over the Bills. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live. All right, let's see. We got to see if the Bills have it in them. Gonna post it in the chat. Can the Bills pull it off? Pull it off, or will the Texans defense save the day? The Texans defense has been what's keeping them, like, the offense has done enough here, but the Texans defense, they've gotten 2 turnovers and 6 sacks on Josh Allen. They have come to play tonight. So yeah, if you're going to talk about a hero of the game for Houston, it's their defense. Oh, Bills got the Bills. It's hard to bet against the offense on these final drives, especially because the Texans' offense just really hasn't done much to give the defense a break. However, since they need to get a touchdown, I think the Texans are going to hold on to this. I said it earlier, and I'm going to stick by it. I think I've got I feel like the Texans are going to hold on. we're coming down the stretch here. Thanks for everyone who's chosen to spend some time with me this evening. Thanks for your participation in the chat. We had a good, lively conversation going here tonight. All right, 2 minutes to go. 3rd and 1 for Buffalo. Play clock's at double zeros, but coming out of the 2-minute warning, I don't think you're going to get a delay a game here. Yeah, it looks like they're going to reset the play clock here. Gotta always love clock malfunctions. All right, so we've got Josh Allen in the shotgun, Ty Johnson to his left. Are the Texans going to bring the heat? It really hurt them last time when they gave up that big play to Shakir. Oh, they've got to pass in the flat to Shakir. He's going to get out of bounds after about 10. Yeah, that's one of those pick plays where it gets close to being offensive pass interference, but there's no flag for it. So the Bills, they get a new set of down, 1st and 10. All right, Josh Allen out of the shotgun. Back to throw. Throws underneath to Ty Johnson. He's in the middle of the field there. There's plenty of time. They've got all 3 timeouts, so that's not necessarily a big deal. They do want this drive to take up a good amount of time so the Texans don't have time to respond because the Texans have all 3 timeouts, and all they would need is a field goal. It's a fake handoff, and they pass it to Dawson Knox. He's going to get the first down on 2nd and 1. That clock's still winding. We're under a minute and a half to play. All right, Josh Allen out of the shotgun. He's got Ty Johnson to his left. And there's Josh Allen. Throws. It's incomplete. Intended for Elijah Moore. Is there a flag? No. 2nd and 10 upcoming. 1 minute and 9 seconds left. And we might have an injury to a Bills offensive lineman here. For those of you tuning in, we are down to the wire here. The Texans have a 4-point lead trying to prevent the Bills from getting into the end zone. The Bills are about at the 50-yard line, making their way down the field. Can the Texans defense hold on? Their defense has been their bright spot all day. They bring 4. Can they get to Josh Allen? They're getting there. They got there. That's a 7th sack of Josh Allen. My goodness. Their secondary is holding up on the back end, and their rush is getting there. And Josh Allen is elusive, so they've sacked him 7 times. This could be way worse if he was not a mobile quarterback. That might have been Danielle Hunter who got him. It is. Danielle Hunter got him. Yeah, I know. This would be a way different game if Prater had made that extra point earlier. They would only need to get into field goal range. But then, you're relying on Prater to make the game-winning field goal. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword there. All right, 7 sacks on Josh Allen. 3rd and 20. So you got to imagine the Bills, they'll probably try to run a play which gets them like half the yardage. And then on 4th down, they'll run a play to try to convert. Oh, that's a flag. That's going to be holding. But they got the sack for an 8th sack. Edwards Jr., my goodness. And Allen seems a little shaken up after that one. He's up on his feet. And this is looking pretty good for Houston. Holding, I think you just decline that, though, because they got the sack. They're declining it. Yep, so we're going to have, like, 4th and 26 for Buffalo coming up here. Yeah, McGovern just tackles Will Anderson there, but it doesn't matter because they get the sack anyway. Looks like Josh Allen's wrist is hurting him, his throwing arm. That's his throwing hand, his right hand. Is it a collapse or is it just the Texans defense just playing that good tonight? I said this is on the Texans defense to win them the game, and it looks like they're going to do it. Unless something crazy happens on this play. Bill definitely knows about the Eagles' 4th and 26 play. Throws, it's complete. Oh, they do some trickery. He's gonna get it! Khalil Shakir! He's gonna get it all the way to the 25 of the Bills! So he passes it underneath to Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer tosses it to Khalil Shakir, and they pick up a huge chunk of yardage. That is a choke by the Texans. You cannot let this happen. Way too much open space there. Because they don't just get the first down, they get it by like 20 yards. And so the Bills, they have new life at the 26-yard line of Houston. And I think the Texans, they take a timeout with 41 seconds on the clock. Yeah, this is going to be a crazy end here. So the Bills weren't getting anything going all day. And they come up with a big play when it matters most. Josh Palmer with the hook and ladder to Khalil Shakir. And he runs it for an additional like 20 to 25 yards. (23-19), and if you're the Texans, you have got to be expecting something like that. They just played way too far back. So 1st and 10, and now it kind of feels like the Bills have the momentum to get this done. That is a huge deflating play. The Texans definitely on their back feet here. Allen throwing towards the end zone. It's caught by Gabe. Oh, they're saying out of bounds. Gabe Davis does not keep his feet in. Working against Singletary there. Let's see. Oh, it's a good call. Yep. He only got 1 foot in. Does not get the other foot in. But yeah, the Bills, they're attacking now. 2nd and 10, 35 seconds left on the clock. Houston had the game won, but gave up a huge play on 4th and 27. And the Bills have life. Out of the shotgun, Josh Allen tosses it to Ty Johnson, who's gonna get about 9. And that's probably Buffalo taking a timeout there. With 28 seconds to play. Bills need a touchdown. And they're trying to take off as much time on the clock as they can. The Texans defense has been great for them all day. 8 sacks on Josh Allen. Can they hold one more time? (23-19) is the score. The Bills just need to get the ball into the end zone and they will most likely win this game. It's been crazy though. We thought the game was going to be over on 4th and 27, but it was not. All right, Allen out of the shotgun. He's got Ty Johnson and Khalil Shakir in the backfield with them. Johnson moves in motion, fakes the pass to him. Oh, the ball gets batted at the line. Big play by Will Anderson Jr., and we've got a 4th and 1. With 24 seconds to go. 4th and 1, and I don't know if you want to just do a play up the middle to get the 4th down. Oh, Will Anderson, he wasn't just trying to tip that. He was trying to go for the pick. Almost came down with it, but no. The Bills still have the ball. 4th and 1. If you go forward and just run with it here, you're going to have to take that timeout. Either that or go up and spike it really quick. And that's a false start. False start by the Bills, and that's going to push them back. 4th and 6 coming up. But this actually makes you're not going to try to run this one. You are going to pass it. 24 seconds left on the clock. This is the game. Can the Texans redeem themselves for allowing 4th and 27? It's 4th and 6. Josh Allen calling signals. Back in the shotgun. He's got Ty Johnson behind him. Khalil Shakir back in the backfield with him too. The rush is coming. It's intercepted! Intercepted by the Texans, and there I don't think I see any flags. No, there is a flag. Oh no. Is this holding on the Texans? I did see some players fall over. It is pass interference on the offense. Offensive pass interference, and that's going to be the game. The Texans hold on to win. Unless they Joe Pisarcik this thing away, but most likely that won't happen. The possession football moves for probably the last time tonight. Ah, dun dun. What a crazy finish to this one. Oh yeah, so they're calling it on the, so when the bodies all started falling, they're calling it on the Bills guy. Yeah, that he kind of ran into one of the corners and caused kind of a pile up there over the middle. And so this is going to be a tough one for the Bills to process. Mills takes the knee and goes to 3-0 as the starter for the Texans. And that's it. That is all she wrote. 23-19. Houston defeating the Bills on Thursday Night Football in a shocker. Well, I can say after the last stream, this one was definitely a bit more entertaining. Texans hold on to win. I called it. I called that the defense was... Okay, to be fair, I was concerned that the defense was going to let me down after that 4th and 27. But I called it, I stuck with it, and the Texans hold on for the victory. What a game. But yes, the next Dustytron stream... What a game. The next Dustytron stream... Live stream will be Cowboys at Lions on 12/4. See you then. This is the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live, signing out for tonight. Thanks everyone for joining. What a game. Hope you have a great